What is shaking, everybody? Welcome to Surface Noise again on the Spins Vinyl and the Concert Buddy channels. Great to have you here. Today, we're talking about vinyl horror stories. Think melted records. Think two A-sides on a record, or worse, two B-sides. And next, we're going to get into collecting versus curating. And then we'll have some fun with a little game called This or That. So stick around because we have some audience participation planned for that segment. Should be fun. Dang it, I was almost ready. Let's go. All right. What is up, everybody? Let's have some fun today. Today, we have some very familiar faces. We might have one new face. Let's go around and introduce everybody. First, we got Jose Moreno-Ron. What's up, Jose?
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Good to see you, as always. Thanks for being here. Then we got the Hall of Famer himself, Brandon. What's up, Brandon?
What's going on? How you doing, vinyl community?
Next up, Jason Rojas. What's up, Jason?
I'm a troublemaker in the VC, so deal with it.
I love it. Arnaldo, what's up, Arnaldo?
Hey guys. Hey, Jason. Jason Spins, because now we got to differentiate between Jason Rojas and Jason Spins.
I know. It's so confusing.
I'm Mr. Negativity in the VC.
I think you just called you if you just want to say enemy of the VC or friend of the VC, you could. And then we got Chris. Chris is first time here, man. What's up, Chris? Good to see you.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here, man. Appreciate you. All right. So like I said, we got some fun stuff planned for today. We got some horror stories. And these don't have to be VC horror stories. This is just stuff like horrific things that have maybe happened with records or whatever. I mean, you can get creative. You guys talk about whatever you want. And then, so we might as well jump right in. Is there anyone that wants to kick us off with a killer horror story?
Sure. Let me get the picture ready.
Let's do it.
So this is probably one of the most wanted records of all time. And let me see if I can flip it. Oh my gosh. I've been wanting this for, I think, the past 15 years. Turns out when I did get it, I'll just show it to you. How about this? It was a Howlin' Wolf record. It is the rocking chair record. If you can see this, you can see that it's split. Can you see that?
Yeah.
And you need to clean that thing. It looks greasy as fuck.
So, I mean, this record goes for, I think, maybe $500 to $1,000. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's right. Yeah. So that's an OG.
Yes. On a black chest label.
Gotcha.
What I think happened was that it was actually broken, and he just tried to sell it and then cover his ass, basically. So when I filed for the refund, he probably put the insurance on it as well. So.
Oh, see, come on now. What's up with that?
But it was messed up. I usually don't see records that break in half like that, but
That's because it was not pressed on Clarity vinyl,
Oh man.
It wasn't on Dynaflex.
Oh, Dynaflex,
right.
yeah.
Geez,
So
that
you
is
can
weird.
see
All the
this.
way through the label. That's
How the
Yeah,
fuck
yeah.
is that even possible?
So
weird.
that's how you received it, or
Yes. Yeah.
wow.
That's
Is
a
that
saw.
eBay? You just got it?
That's fine.
Exactly.
And-
I've never
and-
seen a
and-
crack
and-
through the label like that.
Can you hold that up? The label says unbreakable.
Yeah, that's the best part.
But it is, right? So I held it in my arms and cried, right? And
But that's like a saw. Like somebody was probably using that record for craft, and they saw it off, and then somebody saw that it was this precious record, and then he probably did what you say they did.
Wait, now, Jason, like with a crack like that all the way through, what was the cover like? Was there even a crease on the cover?
No, there was not. So that's what I'm
Yeah, that's what I'm
saying.
saying. It was probably like try to.
Yeah, you would think like if it was a like an impact or something like that, it would have looked even worse. How did it crack so evenly without the cover being damaged?
Yeah.
It's not straight, but it's like this. So again, I think some people do the bowls and stuff like that with records. So probably somebody was using it for like nailing it to the wall and it cracked.
I'm gonna say is that you could probably put this in your Humming Guru and it will be VG plus.
Can't you just throw some super glue on it? I mean, come on, Jay.
Oh, man. Nope.
Just add your own.
Did you have to?
That is brutal.
Did you have to ship it back?
No, that's what I'm saying. I didn't have to ship it back. It
You
seemed
still
like
have
he
it?
was all ready to give me the refund.
You still have it.
That's insurance fraud right there. You're right.
Let's just sell your broken
you get
records.
it? You still have it?
Is that eBay or Discogs?
eBay.
Yeah.
Well,
Can you mention the seller for us? No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
I think this was like years ago. I think.
Okay.
Well,
That's
on
a- that's
eBay,
a-
at least it's better. It's easier.
That's a 2 screamer right there.
Anyone?
Oh, that's the wrong thing. Oh man. All right. Well, that's a hell of a one to start off with right there, man. How are we going to top that?
Well,
Yeah, I like Dave Dream. No QC on that, man. Come on.
Well,
Dime bag. Just throw a little tape on it.
That's a little more of a positive story
Go for it.
than that beast. Jeez. Like mine starts off with this one here, which is the Sundays Reading, Writing, Arithmetic. Like I said, this is a little more of a positive story. It's an album that I had really wanted. This was probably 12 years ago, something like that. And bought it off of eBay, somebody over in the UK, and thing doesn't come. And I'm kind of asking them about it, and it's like still hasn't shown up. And eventually it finally gets here, and it arrives on my front doorstep in a brown paper envelope.
Oh.
Like no inserts in the front, no inserts in the back. It's not even the bubble wrap like brown paper mail. It's just like a straight letter paper mailer all the way from the UK. And I mean, this is the actual copy. I mean, it did get a nice little crease down here around the corner, but I have no idea how the rest of this album survived. All the way from a UK with zero protection whatsoever.
From the UK.
Yeah. So that was kind of one of those ones where, I mean, it was disappointing because they said it was near mint across the board, because I asked a bunch of questions before I bought it. So, obviously it kind of jumped to a VG plus status with that crease down there. So that was disappointing. But I mean, still overall, for that to survive all that distance like that, I still count that as a win. But
So is this like a record seller, or was this like a thrift store? Like, what record seller throws their records in an envelope, ships it overseas?
Yeah, no clue. Absolutely no clue. I think it was more it's like an individual that had some records that was selling it like on their eBay page, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
There was other stuff too,
Yep.
But yeah, it's just a freaking envelope, just a paper envelope.
Did you guys did you communicate after that at all, or you were just happy that it arrived in somewhat one piece?
Well, actually, I mean, they were kind of cool about it. I did communicate with them, just kind of that it finally arrived, and there was kind of some damage to it, and this and that. And then they were like, "Oh, we're so sorry. We didn't mean for that." And they gave me like an 80% refund, or like they gave me pretty much
See, there
my
you go.
money back on it. So it's like, so I couldn't like jump on them for being, thieves or trying to scam or anything. I just think they just really had no clue about how to handle mailing records.
I see what Dave Dream did there. He said, "Look, man, In Through the Outdoor came in a paper bag. What's the problem?"
I got one that's got a happy ending too, actually.
Oh, yeah,
this
let's
is
do it.
this is the Stones mono box, and I missed the black version. I just wasn't on the ball for it, so I ordered the color one. I think I had to order it directly from their site. So I get the box, And you can, I don't know if you guys can really see this, but you can see the box came destroyed and the whole box is ripped at the top and there's this big crease across. And I was not happy. As you guys know, it's pretty pricey. So I don't know how this worked out, but whatever, I guess on their site, they had some kind of insurance protection on the purchase. So I was just going to return it, but then I'm thinking, well, if I return it, am I going to be able to get another copy? I don't know if it's going to sell out. It was kind of in the height of the craze, a couple of years ago. So I actually contacted their customer service and I showed them pictures of the damage, and I guess they were able to file a claim. So I got a full refund on the box and got to keep it, which was like,
wow.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I can take a beat up box if I don't have to pay for the records themselves. So I was cool with that. So it was definitely a horrific story at first, but it had a happy ending. I thought that was pretty cool.
So just to be clear, we're not suggesting fraud. No one don't start, chipping up all the boxes and then, but that's great that they took care of you.
Yeah.
I was shocked. They put me right to the third party, insurance portion of it. And I was just expecting a discount. And they were like, I got a notification on my PayPal, refunded the whole thing. I was like, okay, sounds great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Very nice. Very nice. All right.
I guess it's my turn because
let's go, Arnold. I know you got a good one.
No, it's not really. I mean, you would think that I'm going to come up with something that's like a real horror story. This is not too much of a horror story, but you guys know the Atlantic 75 series, right?
Yeah.
And from Acoustic Sounds. And I ordered John Coltrane's Giant Steps. So
Great record.
Yes, and Acoustic Sounds, Analog Productions are known for their QC, right? So the first record that I get, as you can see, is one disc of the John Coltrane Giant Steps. And disc 2 was My Favorite Things by John Coltrane.
Ooh. Want.
So I was like, how does that happen? Typically, when this happens, you either get two, disc 1 or disc 2. That usually happens, but a totally different release was. So I email them, and with the picture, of course, and they tell me, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much for telling us. There must be some kind of mistake somewhere along the line," and they just, of course, sent me the correct disc number 2. So it's not too much of a horror story. I just found it very unusual from a company like Acoustic Sounds to kind of do this kind of, this is a big mistake to put in the wrong disc.
Yeah. It doesn't even have the label's completely different.
The label's completely different, so you can tell, right? But there's a silver lining that it's another John Coltrane album that, well, I have only one of them that I wasn't planning on buying because I already have My Favorite Things. So not too much of a horror story. Just I found it kind of curious.
It could have got ugly, but it was good that they took care of it.
Yeah, no, I mean, then there's the usual, warped disc, seam splits, and things that I always talk about and complain about. But I wanted to actually spread something that wasn't too negative.
Hey, Arnaldo, I have a question for you on that because I'm a long-time Acoustic Sounds guy, and I subscribe to the 75 series. And the first time I ever had QC issues was on the 75 series. I've returned,
Really?
and I do feel like it's because they're demanding the 3 records or 2 records a month. I feel like you're seeing mishaps like that. Like I got 2 of one. I forgot which record it was. Might have been the Dr. John. I got 2 of the same record, A and A, or disc 1 and disc 1. And then the first time ever dealing with them, I had warped discs. I couldn't believe it. I emailed them. I'm like, is this? So I don't know if they're just churning those out so quickly that maybe.
Have they messed up on the number? Are you always getting the same number?
No, I'm always getting the same number. And I subscribe. I don't keep all of them. I share the ones that I want with my brother-in-law, and then I have another person that I like. Some of the titles I'm just not interested in, but I wanted the serial number, so I reallocate them. But I just found it interesting. You had that issue with that series because that was the only time I ever had an issue with them.
And I've never had a problem that two disc, two of the same disc in a double set. I've never had that problem before. This is the first time, and I found it very unusual that it was acoustic sounds of all.
Yeah. Yeah, wild.
Jose, you want to go?
To be honest, I don't have any horror stories.
You don't have any horror stories.
I have stories where I've been ripped off trying to buy a record from a tomato vendor in Tijuana, but that's such a different thing. I don't think that is any appealing to anybody here. So,
It's funny. Brucey Baby says that he had the label pressed into the grooves. I actually had a Led Zeppelin record. I bought it used. It was a used, so it was an older record, reissue from like the 70s or something. And the label was so miscentered, off-center, that it did run into the grooves on the last track.
Yeah, well, actually, that happened to me, but it was in the run-out groove. And I only realized because I let the needle go, like, I was lazy to get up. And I heard this horrible sound. I was like, what is that? And and I see it's playing on the label. I hadn't noticed it, but it's really a hairline that ended up on the very last groove, on the inner groove.
Oh, yeah. That's harsh. Yeah, this one was crazy. I never even tried to play it because when I saw it, I was like, oh, my God. I think I posted it on Facebook or something. It's like, have you guys ever seen this? This is crazy.
Yeah, and you can't do anything because it's pressed. It's not glue. It's not glue. It's pressed on the record.
Yeah, and like I said, that was like a 70s repressing. So, obviously stuff, it even happened back then. So it's not like a new thing. I'm trying to read Music in the House. Got a long comment here. I'm making sure it's not spam first. Okay. Early on in my Discogs buying journey, I bought a bunch of records from a 95% rated seller on Discogs. He responded with his dating profile with details about what he was looking for in a relationship. Well, that could be a horror story, or it could be, who knows? Maybe new friendships can be spawned. That's a good one, though.
Wow, that's hilarious. Are you into records? Do you like jazz?
Yeah, exactly.
I only buy near mint records. I hope you're ready.
Me too. Oh my God.
Well, I will say that I have 3 open Discogs buys from people that have not sent me their records because they can't find the records. And one of them, it's 1 year old. And they still haven't shipped my record. 1 year old. And the reason I haven't canceled it is because it's a record I really want. And the person told me that it's on his parents' house, and her mom sent a photo of the record, but she doesn't know how to ship it. So I'm waiting for the guy to go on Christmas. And last year he didn't. So this year he's going to ship it. And I even tried to get the mom to go to a record store so they could ship it to us, but the situation was so weird to the record store. They were like, I don't want to fucking do that. And I was like, well, I'll buy another record from you. And they were like, yeah, but that's weird. I don't know. We don't want it. I don't want to touch it. I was like, all right. So I'm waiting for the guy to go Christmas vacation, I guess. And
where was it coming from, Jose?
It's in Portland.
I was going to say, that's why I thought maybe you'd have some good ones. Because, don't you order a lot of records from out of the country?
Yeah, well, I rarely buy records here in Mexico. And the ones that I do, it's normally like in Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace, or stuff like that. That's why I was saying, like, the only horror stories I have is buying records and never getting them. That's
the worst, actually.
Oh, yeah, I guess it's the worst. But I have nothing to show.
You have nothing to show, I know, right?
But I'll tell you one quickly. There was a lady that she sold tomatoes in the market in Tijuana, and she had
I already love where this is going.
Yeah, she had a Chalino Sanchez record, right? It's Chalino, for any people that don't know it, it's very popular music. It's like sort of like if in the U.S. somebody liked I don't know, like Bob Dylan, not in the sense that they're musically the same, but they're as known, like everybody in the U.S. knows Bob Dylan. Here, people in the northern part knows Chalino Sanchez. It's like popular music that every human being knows. Doesn't matter what social class they're in, blah, blah, blah. So she had a record, and she had it for 700 pesos, which is insane because that record is like $300 to $400. So
Wow.
she was like, "Well, I have the record here," and I was like, "All right." So I paid her, and she's like, "Well, I'm gonna go to the post office, but it's really far away." And she sent me like the one that was closer to her, and I was like, "Can you just ship it through FedEx or DHL?" And she was like, "All right." And then when she got there, like 2 days later, she went to the thing, and she said that her car had broken down, and that she had to use the money that I gave her to buy gas and pay the fee for the what do you call that in English? I don't know. The guys that fix the tires, right? So here it's called bulka. It's like 30 pesos. I don't know, like $2, $1.50. Anyways, but so she was telling me that she could ship the record, but I would have to like give her the money first to pay for the shipping again. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Already, like, I don't give a fuck your piece of shit car like got dumped in the middle of the thing. Just send me my record. And she didn't. And then she didn't want to reply to me for like a week. So what I did was I took photos of every single member that she had on Facebook, and I just posted like, and I added all of them to my Facebook. I told, "Hey, your mom is a piece of shit," and then I just went like that. And
Do not cross Jose, man. Damn.
and the funny thing about the story is that a friend of mine that lives over there saw her at the fucking market, and she was selling the fucking tomatoes, and the guy said, "Excuse me, do you sell records?" And she was so fucking shook when he asked that. She took her stand and left and never came back to the market.
Oh man, see.
So I don't know who
Man,
who
you're
was the
terrible.
first.
Like almost as if you posted her picture as wanted across the entire town.
Well,
The record.
well, I don't know. Well, I'm guessing everybody does that in the U.S. Like when you buy a record in the Facebook group, and they don't do like they didn't ship it or whatever, you put the photo like this motherfucker doesn't send records, right? Or it's a scam. Beware. So I did that, but and one of the kids said, "Oh, my mom has just been busy." That's what he said. I was like, "It's been a month."
Dude,
So
if
you're waiting for about a year, so a month is nothing.
I know it. That's what I was going to say. Like Jose was like, "I don't have a horror story." Dude, you got a horror story. You got a
don't have anything to
story.
show. I don't have
You got a
anything.
1-year love story.
Well,
Right.
Yeah, like,
Well,
you
Facebook shames some person right here.
I know.
no, but I have nothing to show. You know, like and
Jose.
the guy that, for example, I'll tell you quickly, but for example,
Well, dude, hold on before you move on. The real horror story here is that you didn't play your cards right and get some free tomatoes out of this.
no.
I just don't know if I'd go this length over a Billie Eilish record either, Jose. That's a little bit troubling for me. Like that's rough.
No, it's a very rare record. No, but for example, like I have records like that around the world. I would say, like for example, like Stunty has records for me that to get them, he's gonna ship them to my sister, and then my mom's gonna go to visit her in Spain, and then she's gonna bring him back to my to El Salvador, my real country, and then I'm gonna bring here. So I have records like that all over the world. Like people have my records, and I have to like figure out what the fuck with them. But it's fun, you know. And I
have a
records-
spreadsheet just for the records that never arrived, right? That you have to
Right.
track.
No, I sometimes forget. Like I have a record that I bought for Stunty a year and a half ago in Chile, but the shipping in Chile to here is like $60. So he was like, "Fuck that shit! I'm not gonna pay it." So a friend of mine today that lives over there, he's gonna go for Christmas break to El Salvador, and I'm going too. So he's getting the record for me, and then I'm bringing it back here, and then I'm shipping it to the U.S., and somebody in the U.S. is going to ship it to Stunty.
Jose, you have a whole career ahead of you. You have a network of people around the world procuring records.
Yeah,
This is fascinating for you because it seems like you have feet in every country, right? The
Yeah,
person's right.
I've shipped. I would say that I've shipped to most countries in the world at least once. Like,
Wow.
what is it in English? Maurice Islands, Christmas Island. I've shipped to Christmas Island. Uh, so that was pretty interesting. But because apparently nobody lives there, only prisoners. So it was a guard that bought a record from me.
What do you remember the record?
Oh yeah, it's a record from my label.
Wow.
I've had a lot of. I shipped one to not the White House, but near it, like a block away, was a government building as well. So that's pretty interesting. So somebody in this administration has records that I put out, so I can't talk shit about it.
Brucey Baby, it set me up nicely. Here's my worst. I ordered an LP from Sir Bezos. It was put in my mailbox next to my front door. My front faces south. It was 90 degrees for about 4 hours when I removed it from the box. That was going to be, so look, I mean, I've gotten records that weren't great and all that stuff, but I think the one that comes to mind that was actually kind of funny for me is when I was probably like 12 years old. I was young, but I had my turntable, and people that have watched the show know I've been listening to records forever, and I had my record. I pulled a record out, and I don't know, maybe my mom called me downstairs or something, and I just tossed the record onto my bed, and then I ran downstairs, took care of what I had to take care of, took a little time, whatever, maybe I forgot about it, whatever it was. I come up and I just go to grab the record to put it back in the sleeve, and it literally folds like a taco. It was like one step away from being liquefied. And it like burned my hand, but it literally just wrapped around my fingers because the sun had come down and started coming right on my bed. And it was like the weirdest strange. I thought I was like in the Twilight Zone. You go to pick up a record and it just like folds. Anyway, it's kind of hilarious, but that was kind of a horror. I don't remember the record, but I'm sure at the time I was like crying, like, no. But yeah, kids, don't put your records in the sun. Yeah, and Brucey Baby said the same thing, sitting on the porch. But anyway, yeah, that was the first time I realized, like, oh yeah, okay, these things aren't indestructible. Exactly, KRWD. It was a taco. All right. Well, that was fun. We had lots of horror stories there. Let me give you one more screen. Let me find a good one. All right. Next up, let's just jump into the next thing. Let me see. We got to do some. Got to run track 2. All right, there we go. Okay. Next is what is next? Oh, collecting versus curating. And so this is cool because this is something that when Chris reached out to me, and he was talking a little bit about, I was listening to Concert Buddy and I started thinking about like curation versus collecting. And at first I was kind of like, trying to get my head around, like, I never really thought about it. Like, what's the difference, And Chris made a good point. I don't know if you want to introduce it, Chris, but
Yeah, sure. I mean, so it's like, I think you can be both, right? A collector and a curator. And I think what I've recognized over time, whether it was, CDs when I was a kid, my first collection that I moved on from, and then getting back into the hobby, several years ago, you start off as a collector, you want to grab everything, you want to grab multiple pressings of certain stuff. But then as time goes on, space, expense, you start to say like, do I need 4 copies of Nevermind? Do I need the UK Are You Experienced and the US Are Experienced? I'm just kind of waxing on this a little bit for a moment. And then I watched a Concert Buddy's video when he went to visit Noble Records. I don't know if you guys saw it. And he he's going through his journey there, and he picks up the Nevermind ORG reissue that Bernie cut. And it's almost apologetically, to me, like saying, I already have this pressing and that pressing, but I needed to have this one. And I think in my head, I'm like, this is the epitome of collecting. Like to have, okay, I have Nevermind, I have the US, the UK, the reissue, the 30th anniversary, like all these different versions. And I think at one point I was like that, but resources run out, space runs out. You have to start to make some critical decisions on what you're going to keep. So then I start thinking, well, I want to have Nevermind in my collection, or I want to have Highway 61 in my collection, but I can't have 5 copies of it, so I have to get it down to 1. And then the other aspect of collecting, I think, is like, I think a lot of us probably do this with specific artists, is being kind of a completist, right? Where you are into an artist and you want to have the entire catalog. And I've come to the realization that even with my favorite artists, like, I'm okay missing one if I know it's just not that important to me. And so I started to think that I moved from the collecting aspect of things more to being very selective of what's in my collection and making sure I have what means the most to me at this time. So as I was talking to Jason, I said, now if I had unlimited resources, I would be the epitome of both, right? I would have the best curated collection, but then have everything I could from a version standpoint. Yeah, Rojas, the enemy, the Vinyl community enemy, of course. So
he doesn't collect everything. He only collects OGs.
Right. So it's like you're gonna be both. There's gonna be overlap, but I just wondered how you guys, being so active in the community, view yourselves, like, from that definition. Like, are you a collector where you want to have everything in the spectrum on one album or one artist, or are you getting to a point where it's like, I really have to be selective of what I bring in and what I keep, and I need this album because I love the music or I love the artist, and that's what's most important. So, like, for example, too, I like the Tone Poet series, but I don't buy every one because just some of them I don't like. But I know people that are like, I got to have every Tone Poet, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, it's like being completist on that series, and I think that's more of the collection aspect than it being a specific curator of titles you like. So, hope that makes sense to you guys. But just curious what you guys thought about that, and how it plays out in your mind a bit.
I have to agree with you. I think you're right. Like, when you start buying and you don't have a lot of information, then you're just collecting and, grabbing as much as you can. And then the more that you develop your, I guess, record journey, if I would call it that,
Yeah.
then you know more about things. You get a little picky, right? Maybe more about like condition, or let's say when the record was pressed, or like who pressed it, right? I think I'm somewhere in the middle, like kind of half curating, half collecting, like I couldn't help it. Like, I'm curious, right? So I couldn't help it that, I have 4 copies of this beast of a record,
You're just collecting every color.
So the thing is, like, I was trying to find out like which one was the best sounding copy. And I eventually found out none of these are the best sounding because it was recorded poorly, So, what, a couple $100 later, I figured this out over a span of 5 years,
Yeah.
But I still love the record regardless, I'm
Well,
still
and you-
shocked that this thing is like worth a lot of money, yet it doesn't sound as good as, this Puros pressing. Oops, that's another British pressing. This Puros pressing, that you can get for like under 60,
So what is that? So I was gonna when I was muting myself, I was saying you still have all of those copies. If you're curious, you're trying out the different ones, and none of them are the best sounding one. Does that make you a collector or a curator?
I think it's like half and half,
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, people don't know, and they wouldn't want to tell you this, but the second pressing of Led Zeppelin UK sounds the same as this turquoise,
Oh wow.
It's not widely known, because if I said that, then this price of this one would drop, and everyone would get a deal on this,
Yep.
So I gave that secret away. Now we all know together, The VC FBI will be upon us later,
MAGA Ched.
That's right.
Can I go next? Or
Yeah, go for it.
what I'll say is that to me, the definition of curating is that I've gone to the point where the only records I've been buying for the last 2 or 3 years are very specific records from Latin America. I've stopped buying nostalgic records. I've stopped buying like classic rock, because when I was 14, I used to buy a lot, but now beginning to understand, especially during the pandemic, where a lot of psych and folk and experimental music from Latin America started creeping out in price. So I started buying a lot of those records that I thought I should own. So the curation part, and I'll show some when we get to the later on. We have share what we've been buying lately, but now I try to buy records that I know for a fact that I'm going to regret later on, and they are locally for me. Because most of the times, what I see on Discogs versus what I see them around here are different prices. So, for example, I just bought a record that was, I think the cheapest one is like $200 on Discogs, and I got it here for 50 near mint. But it's like, like, so I've tried to curate. I'm collecting a lot of like per country. I'm from El Salvador, so I've been collecting psych music from my country, from Guatemala. I have a record label, so it helps me to have records that the the master tapes don't exist anymore, and we have to do. I'm working on reissuing some of these records, so I'm buying to do like needle drops because the master tape don't exist anymore. So those are the type of records that I've been buying. So the curation for me is just archival in the sense that I have records that are rare in the sense that they just don't exist out there and people don't know that they exist. And some are expensive, some aren't, but they're impossible to get. There are some records on Discogs that are $50, $100, but are harder to get because if you want, like for example, Jason's Led Zeppelin, you can buy it. You just need the money, right? You need the money. So those are not rare records. They are rare to find like in the wild. I get it, but they are easy if somebody puts it out. They know they can get good money for it. They put it up. So the records that I'm trying to get, for example, that record that I've been waiting for a year, I don't know if I'll ever see another one. And the only copy that it's been available on Discogs, it's a guy that has it for $1,200, and he puts it in and puts it out every few months because he thinks he's going to sell it for that. But it's never sold online, so nobody knows how much to pay it. And I messaged a guy that said that had it, and outside of Discogs, I told him, "Hey, I'll pay you $100 right now." And he said yes. And then this other guy puts the record for $1,200 every few weeks, and I'm worried that the guy's gonna see it and he's gonna want more money, right? But that's my curation part now. I try to stay off from buying anything that I really don't want. And if I see a record that I actually want, but it's on, it depends, right? But if it's not VG Plus near mint, I'm not gonna buy it.
So do you find yourself? Because a lot of times, when you're building a collection, you're going to your locals. When you travel, you check out the record stores, and you usually find stuff because maybe you're still building out that base of getting the necessities and stuff. Eventually, are you saying you're to a point maybe where you don't even bother with record stores, and because it almost becomes like going to the thrift store, the stuff that you want just isn't going to be there. Is that kind of where you're at now, Jose?
Yeah. For example, in Mexico City, when I go to Mexico City, most stores have like the normal, what I call Amazon buys. It's like it's already on Amazon. You can buy there. There's Amazon Mexico here, right? So I can buy them from there, probably a little cheaper. So that sucks. So what I actually want is different stuff, and what I'm collecting now, it's mostly records that I know in 30, 40 years are going to be more collectible because fewer people will want them. But I for example, I see like Dylan from Novel Records. He shows a lot of those Mexican and like Central and South American psych. And for example, I see people like Stunty and Alex and Seeking a Threat that they like experimental music from Mexico, Central and South America. They're really hard to get, but I know in 10 years, the records are going to increase and increase and increase because I already see it today.
Mm.
I see people, I see like, for example, I just got a record for $30 outside of Discogs that the cheapest one right now is $95 on Discogs. And there were no copies out for like a year. So I know for a fact no one's going to want to put a copy that's cheaper, you know?
Right.
So just
Well,
curating.
the record on Discogs is probably only worth what the last sale was.
Yes and no.
Just the fact that someone listed it for $100 doesn't mean if you are a smart seller, you can't really go by it. If someone has it for 100 and it hasn't sold in 2 years, it's probably not worth 100.
But
Right.
maybe that's right in like classic rock or pop or contemporary rock, but in experimental music, no. You're muted, Jason. But for experimental music, you're muted, Jason.
Yeah. It was so profound what I said too. No, but I'm sorry. Now I'm going to interrupt you, Jose. But it's like it's one thing if there's other sellers that have it, but when you're the only one, it's like you're holding the keys to the kingdom, right? It's like, yeah, you're posting it for way more than it's worth, but it's like.
And in experimental music, especially, for example, I was talking with Stunty yesterday, and there's a electroacoustic record that I've been looking for from Venezuela. But it's like it's impossible to get, and I think the cheapest copy someday it sold for like $50, right? But right now it's $400, and the only guy that has it listed is $400, and I know somebody's gonna buy it for that because I've been the guy also that after a year of waiting, I'm just gonna buy it. You know,
I've done that so many times, man, too. And it's like, when do you pull the trigger? It's like gambling. I had a record. I'm not even going to say what it is, but there's a record I've been watching for like 2 years. And the worst part is that it was way cheaper back then. I should have just bought it. But even then I thought it was high. Now it's got even more rare, more expensive to the point where there was one. And I'm like, man, I don't know. I just don't want to pay that. I'm just going to wait. Because then my fear is I'm going to buy it. And then all of a sudden 5 of them are going to go up. You know what I mean? The price is going to get cut in half or something. Because I've had that happen too. Well, somebody bought that one. So now there's 0. And I'm like, it's like navigating that is like so stressful. You want to go, Arnaldo? What kind of collector are you, Arnaldo?
Well,
or curator.
I kind of like agree with what Chris and Jason also were saying. More so that for certain artists that I love, I'm the collector.
Yeah.
So for the Beatles, for the Smiths, for David Bowie, I'm the collector. I tend to try and get everything that comes out. It is impossible. I'm trying to really stay away from now all the various color variants that are coming out and picture discs and stuff like that. I'm starting to draw the line even in the collecting, but I don't know if I'll do it yet with the Smiths because I'm a huge fan. But for other artists, I also had the trend. I was picking up the trend on which is the best copy. Let me start comparing. But now I've come to the point where once I have determined which is the best copy, I'm going to get rid of the ones that I don't want.
Yeah.
Because I live in a New York City apartment. There's only so much space and there's only so many records I can keep in that room by keeping it somewhat organized, which it now is not very organized. So I find that I really have to start curating a little bit more. There are records that I've had because I listen to music either streaming, playing the music, or sometimes I'll pick up the vinyl version of a CD that came out 20 years ago that I bought when I bought a CD, but I like the album so much, and I'll buy the vinyl copy, and it'll sit on the shelf for 3-4 years, and I never even open it. So I'm starting to think, how much do I love certain records, and how many times am I going to listen to that record that I already know very well? Probably because I've been listening to it for the past 20 years, but I only want to have the vinyl copy because I love the record and I want to have it also on vinyl.
Yeah.
I can't keep on doing that. So
It's a struggle. I mean, how many times, like, you know, I think you and I are probably around the same age. How many times have you bought an album on CD, then the deluxe CD, you know, 15 years ago, then you bought the digital when digital was big. Now you're buying the record. It's like you keep on. I find myself like buying, and they're albums I love. They're a part of my DNA, but I find myself buying the same albums over and over again in a lot of cases.
sometimes,
That's
yes,
frustrating.
my partner says, "But don't you already have that?"
Yeah, but I don't
You're like,
have
shut up.
this. Yeah.
None of your business.
I've drawn the line, like, even like you're a big Smiths fan, like, do you apply that rule of curation to the Smiths, or do you have
I could go much deeper into the
Right.
collecting hole. I know someone who is I think he is the biggest Smiths collector when it comes to variants, countries, like same record from different countries.
yeah,
Where the font is different, when sometimes the cover is different, I like to also get the alternate cover, but the same exact record pressed in France, in Greece, in Italy, in Spain, in Portugal, in Ireland, in America, South America, Argentina. So I'm not there yet, because I also like to enjoy and buy other records.
right.
Then I just like lose all my focus on one artist, and that's really not what I want to do. Collecting is nice, but I try to keep the collecting vice still within the realm of sanity.
Yeah, it's a rabbit hole too, because you cannot complete a collection. You
It's
can't.
never going to be-
It's never going to be complete, and it is hard for me to realize that. And then also, it's like you said, it's just a space thing. Like, I'm not gonna, there's a selfish part of you that wants to wow people, or say like, oh, I have 4 copies of this one record, but at the same time, you're also robbing somebody else of that opportunity. Like, it's good to pass the duplicates on. It's good to resell them or gift them, or there is a lot of value and completion in doing that for somebody as well. Like, I don't know how many people have got into records. I'm like, oh, I have this extra, copy of this album. You could just take it because you should have this. This is essential, that high fidelity moment,
Going back to what, Nirvana's Nevermind probably is worth having. If you don't have the very first pressing, maybe it is worth having the ORG, the Bernie Grunman cut, and maybe the digital one if someone likes it. But if you love that record, that's totally fine. And I have done that for records that I love. But there are people that will collect. So not just the different editions from mastering engineer or a certain year or reissue. Within the first pressing, they'll have the Santa Maria pressing, the Columbia pressing,
Terra Hub,
specialty pressing. So that is really, you have the same run, but because they were back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, they were pressed at different pressing plants. Now they're usually, when a label picks a pressing plant, it's usually one for Europe and one for the United States.
Yeah.
Or sometimes the run is pressed in one place worldwide.
Right,
we don't
right.
have all these pressing plants where record labels are pressing based on location, because it's closer to get records to distribution from that pressing plant versus another one.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably also why a lot of the records cost more, because of the shipping charges, because they're all coming from one pressing plant that could be in Czechoslovakia.
Yeah, it's not regional anymore. Yeah, I think
versus having your pressing plant in New Jersey, in Long Island, in Virginia, you had like 3 pressing plants all over, providing the entire East Coast back in, the 60s, 70s, and 80s.
Yeah.
Is that something where, is that kind of like once you've gotten every essential record, because it's sort of like horizontal versus vertical, right? It's kind of like, I'm still working on the horizontal. I'm still trying to get, I have so many essential records I still need, because, during my life, records have come and records have gone. And so it's like, now I still have things I want. Is it the kind of thing where once you get everything, it's like, all right, now what? You kind of, all right, let me get every copy of Out to Lunch now, or like you said, Arnaldo, like, The Queen is Dead, or whatever it is, is it that kind of thing where it's more, or is that something that you've always kind of done? Or is it something where you feel like, all right, all the essentials are covered. Now let me go and start doing some deep dives.
Well, that's exactly because for the Smiths, I'd never collected the cassettes. Now I'm starting to buy the cassettes because I knew I would never play the cassette. I know it's musically inferior in terms of sound quality. So I
But it's the one you listened to as a kid, maybe, and so that's it, just having it is a little more.
Really, I've never really had that many cassettes.
Okay.
I've always bought the record, and then if I wanted to bring it on my Walkman or in the car, I'd make a copy. I know, very bad. Illegal taping is killing music. We all remember
bootlegs.
But I was buying the record and I was making a copy for myself. So yeah, so now I'm trying to find the Smiths on cassettes.
What about you, Brandon? We'll kind of close it out. We got about 8 minutes.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess I'm kind of the one that, I mean, I agree with the vast majority of what everyone's already said. I like to try to simplify things, right? So, like, from my point of view, when you buy an album and you start buying albums, you have a collection. You can move from collection into curating, but, you know, you kind of have both, right? So what is it that transitions from a collector to a curator? And I've always kind of simplified it as the moment you have more than one rule on what you purchase, you've moved into curating.
Okay. Wow.
Because I think when you first start off, it's just, ooh, I love this album, I'm buying it. Ooh, I love this album. Like you have that one rule. I'm buying the stuff that I like. I'm not thinking about pressings. I'm not thinking about you're collecting records. But that very moment you start going, I want an OG pressing, or I don't care if I get this with this band, but I want all the Smiths. Well, now you have two rules going. Now you have a rule with the Smiths and you have a rule with, and I think as we kind of grow as I guess kind of everyone here, those rules just start expanding to, like, if you really sat down and wrote them out, you're like, I have 375 rules I have to follow with my collection in this band and condition. And like, you know, we get to the crazy point where we are. But to me, that really is the simplest way I think you can define that line is once you have more than two rules that you're trying to follow, that could be condition, whatever, you're now into a curating phase. And if anything, it's probably just going to grow from that point.
Okay, so look, one last thing I'm curious about is, when did this start for you? If you're someone that's been collecting, say, for more than 5 years, because for me, I kind of feel like there was this point like 5 years ago where I started becoming more aware of, you know, and it's probably Michael Fremer is probably the guy that brought it to my attention on YouTube, that there are all these different pressings and why it matters and what, you know, and stuff like that. Before that, a record was a record, you know, for 30 years, a record was a record. And then I saw that and I was like, oh, wait, a record's not a record. Pretty soon I start to listen more. Pretty soon I start getting more attuned to, wait, this is better. That is, you know, and stuff. I'm curious where that all started with you guys. Is that something you've always thought, or is that something that's kind of come into your life more recently?
I think for me, like, since I was a kid, it was always about the music. And then it was always like a dream of mine to like have a record collection. Like, so when I got the means, I started to have a record collection. But then you start to enter in the audiophile world. And I think, Jay, you and I talked about this. Like, if I only had the means to have a certain turntable and 30 records, I still have a collection. What transitioned me into like this curation of sound quality, or like the best pressing, is like the transition in equipment, the access to information. Now that, like, oh, I didn't know my turntable wasn't that great. I didn't know there's a difference in turntables. And you find, like, so you start to go, like, and I think Jason said it best early on in his response to this, is like the journey you're on. And I think that journey takes place when you get the information. And I know plenty of people that are close to me that they know the information I know, but they won't go down that path. They have their lane they kind of stay in. But I think for me specifically, I think it started with being a fanatic and understanding that I could, you know, I could have a UH card. Maybe it does sound better, or maybe this first press does sound better. And when you start to learn that, then you start to take that philosophy and branch out to other artists and other records. And it just kind of just kind of compounds and it gets a little nutty. But I think that I think that's what it comes down to, like just being aware and wanting to know if being aware makes you go into that realm and persuades you, and you're comfortable with that, then that's really what happened with me. If I didn't have what I have from a collection standpoint or an equipment standpoint, I would still be into records. I would just do it a different way, or I'd still be into music as much as I am now. It still comes back to the music for me. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. Anyone else want to weigh in on?
Yeah, I mean, I would say for myself, probably up until about really just 13, 14 years ago or something like that, I wasn't one that was paying attention to pressings and all that kind of stuff. It was just, I want this album. I want this album by this group and so forth. And then actually, one of the people that really kind of flipped that switch for me was Robert Z, that used to be here in the VC. I guess he's not as active anymore, but you know, he's been just a fanatical collector for years and years, like, I don't know, 4 decades plus. And he was in the military and lived over in Japan for quite some time. So he just has like this incredible, immaculate collection of all of this just amazing OG Japanese stuff and white label promos, just in absolute fantastic condition. And the more I kept watching his channel, I was getting more of an appreciation for original pressings, condition, all that type of stuff. And I mean, he alone just really kind of completely changed the direction of my collection, collection, I should say. And then I went through and did like an 800 album purge, and I was just kind of following the Robert Z train. And a lot of the stuff that I'm into and looking for now, it was a huge influence by him. But prior to that, like kind of like Chris was saying, it was just about the music.
Yeah.
I didn't care if it was OG, didn't care if it was this. Like, I just want Iron Maiden Somewhere in Time. I don't care. That's it.
Right.
Yep.
You didn't know.
Yeah.
Right. That's it. You're pointing out one other thing. I don't want to monopolize everybody's time, but like, you're pointing out something that Robert Z had: resources and access. Right. That's another big part of this. Like, if you don't, the information's part of that, but like, if you can't get to the physical existence of that record, or be in a situation where you can get those promos, like, you just that, a lot of that's luck, but then transferring that information to you now puts you on that train, and then that's where that transition happens. Like with Jay, for me, it was Fremer several years ago. I'm a Fremer apologist. I've chatted with him. He's always been kind to me when I've reached out to him, and it's like he has that influence, and he probably put me on that path too, but it was just having that information from him, or whatever the case may be. So it's an interesting perspective when you bring up that Robert Z story.
Yeah, it's like it or not, Fremer's been one of the guys carrying the torch forever.
Yeah.
You know, when whatever was going on in the world, he was championing records. And it's like, yeah, the guy knows his stuff, obviously. So
show it, Jason.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I just
Go
wanted to
ahead,
say
Jay.
that
Let's get it.
I think a lot of people's record collecting or record buying has changed a lot in the last 15 years.
Yeah.
Maybe even less, 10 years, where Discogs, the presence of Discogs changed all of that. And
There he is.
online availability,
There you go.
YouTube, and
Beautiful
you know,
Jufro.
your Michael Fremer, and people getting more educated and finding the information out there. 20 years ago, I didn't know the difference between a Led Zeppelin RL and
Right.
a non-RL, right?
Right,
I only
right.
learned about that a few years ago. Why? Because I started watching videos on YouTube, and I started reading the dreaded Hoffman forums and Analog Planet and all those other things. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
it's great that people are sharing their knowledge, but it's making it a little bit more difficult and more expensive for people that are really getting into it. So, you know, Jason Rojas, who picks up an RL or a turquoise for like pennies, you know, is really
Yeah,
hard
the free bin. Tales from the
where were
free
you
bin.
guys 10 years ago?
I
Where were
mean,
you
I
guys 10
did
years ago?
get
Should've
lucky
been-
to come across an RL for not a lot of money. I mean, we're talking less than $50. But it's just a matter of luck sometimes, and
Well, I have a question on this. Like, just pick Led Zeppelin 2 for a second. Like, I don't have an RL. I'm not seeking one. I'm not going to not have that album in my collection. Like, I've right. And there's some people that are like, oh, it's got to be an RL or I don't gonna have it. I'm like, why? Why? Like you're not going to have Led Zeppelin 2? Like, what? Are you okay? Like,
I will
I'm gonna tell you
never
something,
own
okay?
a Led Zeppelin record. Does that answer a question?
say it again.
Well,
I
that's a
will
whole nother
never-
problem, Jose.
I will never ever own another Led Zeppelin record in my life.
I joke with my brother-in-law. I'm not even sure I like rock and roll music anymore because I don't.
No,
I don't even know if I'll buy half of what you're supposed to listen to or what you have.
I'll say this. I'll say this. If you have a record you haven't played in 3 years or 4 years, you have to give away that shit or sell it. It doesn't matter what genre.
Jose,
See, now that I disagree
unless you
with.
don't have a
That I
job
disagree with.
and all you do is listen to records, that's an impossible statement.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Well,
Have it just in case, right?
well, I work from home, so I listen to music every.
And
every
you
day.
work in music. Even I work in music, but I don't get to listen to the records. I could stream while I'm at the office or while I'm working, but I can't always get up and switch the record around.
Let me help Chris.
Yeah,
here.
and it might see.
I'm sorry, I made the fatal flaw of 1 verse 2 on Led Zeppelin. I know you were showing one earlier.
Well, let me help Chris here. Everybody hypes up the RL. No. The UK is better than the RL.
Okay,
Everyone
listen up,
tells you
everybody.
the
Hot
RL
tip.
Sounds good. They've only heard that one, and then they pronounce it that is the best one, or they heard it was the best. Again, trust your ears.
Right.
Here's the RL, right? Woohoo, whatever. And then here's the UK. Get the UK. It's less than the RL, and it sounds better.
You got an extra one for me?
The UK.
Whatever one.
I'm not picky.
I'll also say
that might be a good topic for another time. What Jose was saying about like how long if you had a record you haven't listened to it to get rid of it or whatever.
yeah, you have to deal away shit. What is it?
Well,
That's
here-
a discussion I have.
I
very
use that
strong
rule
opinion on.
I use that rule very badly with your wardrobe. If you haven't worn it in more than 2 years, you're never going to wear it again.
Right.
Yeah.
But I use that rule very badly because I have what I call my motivational clothes, where after a period of time when I gain weight, I hold on to that that shirt or those pants that were 2 sizes smaller to motivate me because I really like them so I can fit in them again. But with records, I don't think you could do that, Jose. I mean, how many
Well,
records?
of course you can. Of course you can.
Especially
Look,
someone who has 3,000 records,
look,
right?
look,
How many
I
times
have-
can you cycle through 3,000 records?
I have 3,000 records, and I've listened to all of them at least 5-10 times.
I've always thought the thing with that is like my rule is every single record on my shelf is something that I like. It either it's going to make me feel something I want to feel again or just hear something I want to hear again. I don't know when I might want to go back to that emotion
Right.
or go back to that feeling. But if every single thing in my collection is something that I actually love, it's good.
Yeah, but I'll give you a
it makes no difference.
But it's also like an identity thing. Like, and this might be specific to me, but like when my friends come over or my family's here, like I want them to go to that shelf, and I want to be like, oh, this is what this guy's about.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's where the curation thing kind of came in my head too.
Yeah, if the person can walk into your music room and has the time to browse through everything that you have, they should be able to walk out and have a pretty good idea of the type of person that you are.
Yeah, exactly.
I just did the math for you, Jose.
That's a little extreme, but
If you in your waking hours, you can spend probably 8 hours listening to music in a day.
I do more.
This will be the mic drop right here. Go ahead, and we're gonna.
Okay, if you listen to music for 8 hours a day, in a year you can listen to 3,000 records. That's if you listen nonstop and counting. Let's say a record is the average as an hour. Yes, it could be 45 minutes. It could be a double. It could be longer. So averaging out that it's an hour, 3,000 hours over 8 hours a day, you could listen to your entire collection over a year. I doubt you're listening and spinning and flipping records for 8 hours a day?
Well, I listen to at least 5 or 6 records a day, at least.
Wow.
And
You know,
and-
6 records is less than, it's about 5 hours.
which is fine. But what I'm saying is that I've listened to all my records. Like I've been collecting since I was like 6, 7. My dad taught me how to collect records. But at least for me, especially with classic rock, if it's a record that I know I'm gonna be able to get, and the difference between like that type of music and, for example, the music that I am buying and collecting now, is that most of them only have one pressing. So I really don't give a fuck about like a repress or something like that, because it doesn't exist. And when it does, it's because it's like a $600 record or $400 record, and then there's like a new pressing that someone, by the grace of God, chose to put out. Which is
So
great.
I see your point, Jose. Maybe the time's
And
line.
I'm not unemployed. I just work from the home.
Yeah. Well, and like you said, it's like maybe the timeline's not 4 years, but you're saying at some point, take inventory, decide whether there's stuff that you can weed out to weed more stuff in and that kind of thing. And maybe that goes back to the whole curation process, right? It's like, I don't need 10 copies of this record. I'm only listening to 1 or 2, like, let's make room for some new stuff.
Exactly.
How many
I'm
times?
sorry,
How often? How often does Jose change his stylus? Like 8 hours a day. Like what? You burning and churning? Damn.
Yeah.
Like every year.
He just throws out the whole turntable and gets a new one.
Damn.
I have 3 turntables in this house, but
Okay.
I will say that I one's in the bedroom, the other one is in the living room, and the other one is here where I'm here right now. But also I try to change it every year and a half.
Yeah.
If I can, because sometimes you can, right? I'm not wealthy. I'm middle class as fuck. But what I'll say is that I tried to make my mind, and when I know somebody, because I trade a lot of records, I'm trading 2 tomorrow, right, for something else. I love having records that I haven't listened to, because it just became free money that
Capital.
dumbly spend some years ago, and now I have free stuff that I can get new records from, right? So I just got 3 of my grails, like ultimate grails of my life, and I just didn't pay anything. The guy is shipping them, and I'm just, the only thing that I spend now is the shipping to the US, and he's sending me 3 records I love, to me. So I love having, like, for example, I own 1 single copy of Nevermind. It's a copy from Peru, if I'm not mistaken, or Uruguay. I fucking hate Smells Like Teen Spirit. I grew up learning guitar with that song. I hope I never have to ever listen to that song again. I like Nirvana, but I just hate that song. So I just have this off-putting thing in my head that I just never want to listen to it ever again. Led Zeppelin 4, when I was growing up, I was always on my CD player. When we went to we used to drive along a lot when I was young. So I had a lot of CDs and put it up. I never want to listen to Led Zeppelin again, ever. But I get sick of music like that. And I don't have earplugs, so when I walk down the street, I don't really or talk with someone or just stay silent. As much as I love music, I also like to never listen to music. So,
I think what Jason was about to say too before you were interrupted was that he never sells a record. Is that what you were going to say, Jason? Never.
Oh, no. I was going to say, you can't trust Jose because he's got Adam Sandler records and Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh, see, there you go.
Those records are expensive.
Those rare records he's talking about.
Gosh.
They're at least $100, so
All right, well, that's a good topic. I hate to cut it short. I know we could go on forever about that, but I want to be. I know Chance is the guy that has to put this up on the podcast. So there's Rodney right there, rapping Rodney.
It was $3, Jose. $3.
Yeah, he fucked up with that not buying
I
that.
left it there. It's a 12-inch for $3. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. What else do you want it to be? It's always gonna be like $3 that record.
Not anymore. Now it's spread across the VC. $3, get your Rodney. All right. Well, let's move on into the freestyle for everybody on the podcast and the first portion of the podcast. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Appreciate you. Also, check out the freestyle version, which is coming up right now. For everyone else that's watching in real time live, do not go anywhere. This is going to be really fun. So let's do a little magic here. Freestyle. Boom. There we go. It's just like that. Just like that. We are in the freestyle. So for we can continue this conversation if you want to, but also I thought maybe it'd be fun to kind of show some records, show off some of the stuff that we got this week, and then or since the last show or something you haven't shown, and then we will move into a fun game. Also, if you like just the tip, we are not doing just the tip tonight, but we are doing a fun game called This or That. So that'll happen in about half an hour or sooner, depending on how long this takes. But yeah, so let's do. Let's show recent pickups. Who wants to start?
Go clockwise or.
Okay, go ahead, Jay.
So actually, I went to the local before. That's why I'm a little late to the Surface Noise to find this thing in the. It is Funkadelic, the first. This was there. I was shocked that it was there. Actually, I played it. Probably VG at best. I think there is like a kind of a bad scratch on the end of side 1, but I don't know. That's okay, you know.
Yeah.
How is that? That's not VG. Come on, that's not VG. Is that VG?
If you throw it in the humdinger, it's gonna be VG plus. You know? Throw it in that humdinger. You know.
Is that a southern new word?
If you throw the cover in that humdinger, it'll be near mint.
The humdinger.
Yeah.
It's like that's something Elliot Cruz would say.
I have a tribute for Elliot Cruz. Should I just stop there and we go around more?
No, go.
No, you got to give us the bad news, man. How much did you pay? 30 cents?
No. I only paid 15 for it. It's not bad.
Oh, 15. Okay.
Yeah. I played it. Like they have a listening station, so I played it, and I was like, it's actually not bad, you know.
You got a little Funkadelic collection going now.
I used to have them all. I don't have them all. I think I only have Maggot Brain. I think 2 others. You know.
Very nice.
This one was actually a banger. This is
let's go.
Katy Perry 143.
Oh, fuck that record. Jason, come on. It's okay. Look, it's okay if you buy Taylor Swift and Curator, because I love Curator. But fucking Katy Perry, no, fuck that shit.
So I played it. I was like curious because it was used, right? You know, I was like, oh man. Like,
of course it's used. It came out like 2 weeks ago and people are getting rid of it already. No.
I have to agree with those on this one.
I don't know who listens to Katy Perry.
No clue.
Because it's like, Lady Gaga fans are like loyal as fuck, and they have like names and shit, and Madonna. But who the fuck listens to Katy Perry?
We gotta look at the vinyl. Let's look at the vinyl real quick.
No.
It's a good one for Jose. Look at this gray beauty here. You know.
What is that? Cum stain color? What is this?
Oh my gosh, Jose.
That's actually pretty cool. Okay.
It is pretty cool. So actually,
I like the label too. That's cool.
Took time to listen to it, and I was looking in the dead wax, and it said BG, and we know who BG is, right?
No.
It was wild. Bernie Grundman mastered this thing.
Yeah,
So it was hard to believe. And when I listened to it, I was like, this is actually better than the streaming version. You know, this is ridiculous. How ridiculous is that, you know? And here it is, you know? So again, Jose's favorite record of 2024, everybody.
No way.
That wouldn't even.
I'm not mad at Katy Perry.
That wouldn't even be my 1 million
I cannot stand. I'm with Jose on this one. Well, I apologize. I got to bug out.
All right.
Are you taking off? All right,
yeah.
man.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate seeing you guys as always.
Thanks, Brad.
Right.
Can you highlight Malaya's comment? Thank you, Malaya. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I was purposely ignoring that comment.
No. It's 100% true. That's 100% true.
Oops.
Boy is honest. Shit.
She's for Malaya.
No, she's worse than a fucking Subway sandwich in the fucking trash can.
Come on now. Well, how do you really feel, Jose?
Yeah.
That's the thing. You know, that's the only thing about Jose that I think people really get annoyed with, is he just doesn't speak his mind.
Well, when it's
right.
Katy Perry, I don't think a lot of people are gonna disagree.
Is that it, Jay? So if you have more,
Oh, yeah.
we'll go around. We'll go around a few times. So,
All
all right, go ahead, Jose. Or not. We're probably not going to have time to. We probably go ahead and show everything.
All right. No, but then Jason, go.
Do you have more, Jay?
No. We'll go around. I'll show the last one later.
No, show another one. I don't want to be the Katy Perry decimation, and then that was it.
Well,
Show
this
another
is a tribute to Elliot Cruz here. Elliot Cruz showed his rare record. Turns out I was digging through my storage space, and it's the American Folk Music Volume 1, right?
Wow.
Volume 2, and Volume 3, you know?
Which is the one that Elliot showed last week?
I think he has them all, I think.
Okay.
But that one came out in Italy in I think 2013 or something. But these are actually the OGs from Folkway.
Wow.
Nice. Very nice.
Cool.
Very pretty cool. In the black label, of course, you know.
And they got the box too.
Yes. And the booklet.
Very nice.
How many records are in that box?
2 each.
Okay, so it's not taking up too much space.
Nope. No way. The booklet is actually amazing if you know this anthology, you know.
I don't.
Talking about each of the artists and a little brief history. I mean, if you're
Which
talking
one would
about
you recommend of the 3 that you have there?
let's see here, maybe Volume 3, because I love Uncle Dave Macon, you know.
Okay.
Man,
So
Elliot is not even here.
It's got the blue label on the front, like the blue
Yes.
insert. Okay.
But I mean, this is hard to get. Like the original, this isn't a cheap.
Really?
Thing,
Right.
maybe 10, 15 years ago, you could find them, below 40, but those days are done, you know. The cool thing is that it did get reissued in the 60s, and you can get those copies. I don't think there's any sound difference between this.
Oh,
and
so
those.
these are older than the 60s?
I think so, yeah.
Jason, the 60s reissue, is that the one that comes in the red box? They come in a red box when they reissued it. Do you remember? Or is
No,
it the
that
that's the Harry Smith one?
Yes, but that one came out in, I think, the early 2000s, late 90s?
Yeah, I
one
remember
you're
the
talking about?
CD. Yeah, the CD reissue one. Okay, so that's a different set then
Well,
altogether.
no, it is the same music, but different reissue set.
Different reissue. I got you. Okay. Yeah, because I remember seeing the red box. I don't know if that was a 60s reissue.
Well, I think it does come in the red, but if you're thinking about the whole box set, that thing
Yeah.
came in later. You know?
Okay. Got it.
You see Malia's comment, Jay, about the 311. Have you spun the 311 yet?
Oh, Malaya, that's a secret. Hush, hush. We shouldn't go there, you know. Mastered by my favorite KG. You know, we didn't.
Which title?
So we were at what is it, Vintage Vinyl in St. Louis. That thanks to Malaya, she took me there, and I got these free 311 records, greatest hits. I haven't
Ooh.
played it.
Yeah,
You
they're
know.
from Nebraska too. That group.
Oh, I didn't know that,
Yep.
but they were free, so that was kind of amazing.
Nice.
They were free? How are they free?
Well, they didn't have the cover; it's just the records.
Just a record.
Oh, okay.
And then when I took it up, how much are these? And I guess that guy was just you just take them. Oh, okay. He didn't want to even look through the rest of the records that had no covers, like Master of Reality, The Sabbath. That was wild, you know?
Wow.
Wow. All right. Is that it, Jay?
That's it. Jose can torture us now.
You gonna pull up the Grails, Jose?
No, those are on the way, but
They're in the mail?
no, they're in the U.S. floating around somewhere where 5G lives. That's where they are.
From the Tomato Lady.
Tomato ladies probably dead. No, I hope not. No, I have.
It's going to be a new rule for Jose. You have to show at least one record that we might know.
All right, I'll show one at the end, I guess. All right. So this is one of my favorite album covers of all time. It's about a band called well, I don't know how do you translate this? Well, who the fuck knows? But this is a beautiful record by a band called Tribu, like Tribe, I guess. Tribe. So they were like a proggy, ethnic-ish. So they were called ethnic rock. Basically, they were like a bunch of instruments from native parts of Mexico with prog music on them and flutes and weird stuff and different languages and dialects from Mexico. So this is I've been looking for this for a little while, and I found a really good copy that was signed. That was really good.
Oh, that's cool.
So one of the grails that I got from that guy that's floating around the air right now, it's this record, but another version. This is Jorge Reyes. This is also like electronic ethnic music. Very beautiful, very specific. He used to tour a lot of like European countries and all that, bringing like awareness to it, like pre-Hispanic music in Mexico sounded like, with a little bit of electronic twist to it. And this is a very beautiful record. The copy that I got, it was limited to 100 copies, but this is not really like a hidden gem or anything. This is the new OC's record. They're sort of like King Gizzard-ish, but they're the OG-ish. They've been around for way too long, and one of my favorite bands of all time. This is their latest record. I got this from Permanent Records. Trippy covers. This is like it has no guitar whatsoever. It's two drummers, synth, and bass. And that's it. No guitar, and then a singing. But it's wild. It's faster than anything they've done. Well, probably not, but up there with the fastest thing, and no guitar, which they are known for guitar.
What's the title on that one, Jose?
OCs. The band is called OCs, and the record is called Sork 80. Sork 80. Yeah, all right. It's an American band. You can get it on Amazon. It's not like. All right, so I got this, which I already had. This is a compilation from garage bands from El Salvador. This was pressed in the U.S. By Gas Records. Yes, which just means the same thing in English and in Spanish. But this is very beautiful-ish type music for my country. And
beautiful-ish. Sorry.
Well, beautiful-ish in the sense that because some lyrics are a little funny and not pretty, just funny. But this is the sort of thing that I was talking about. These are records that I'm really interested in. I know for a fact that all those Led Zeppelin records I'm going to be dead, and they're going to be like 150th anniversary, right? So, but this shit is definitely not going to be reissued ever. Yeah, right? So I'm happy to own it now. I got this, which is primitive guitar playing, like John Fahey, if anybody likes John Fahey guitar. But this is from Mexico. I actually talked with this artist a couple of weeks ago, and he was telling me how he had never heard of John Fahey ever, because it was Mexico in the 80s, and technology was not that advanced that he was like going on the internet, right? He couldn't, so he didn't knew what the fuck was up. But that's the type of guitar playing he's doing here. Very beautiful, but this nylon string guitar. Very hard to get. I got this for Alex. If he's watching this, this is his copy that I have to ship tomorrow. But I got another copy coming my way. But this is like extremely rare. He got a good deal with it. I've seen it way more expensive and stuff like that. And then I'll show one record that everybody knows. Wait, let me get it. I got this because a friend of mine got it. So I got the MoFi version of Bookends.
Why, you don't have an OG of that? You don't have a 2i?
Yeah, but he
So what do you need that for?
Because somebody gave it away for me for free. And to be honest, this sounds better than my OG. It's very beautiful. The instruments are very white there, and and the voices are very center and very.
What about the artist's intent?
It was probably knowing Paul Simon. It was probably this, to be honest.
Jose, are you so going by your earlier rationale? Are you going to sell that in 4 years?
If I don't listen to it, yeah.
I think we all know the answer.
Oh, Santana.
Well, this is a beautiful record.
Yeah.
This is like a $5 record where they're all beat up, and this period in Santana's playing, I grew up thinking that Santana was like a bullshit artist, that he only released like those 2000 songs, right? And that everybody seemed to love. But Santana had great records. Caravanserai, I think it's pretty great. I think, this is a really great record that I never see in good condition. So, I got it. And,
Jose, he does some Coltrane on that record, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially like this one, the Alice Coltrane record that he did with her. It's very beautiful. It's also very non-expensive. Caravanserai, it's also very nice. Santana 3, it's very nice. All those, that era, the Lotus Flower one, it's a really good, interesting, because I always thought of Santana like, fun, And you know what? I will say, as an audio engineer, because that's my actual title, as an audio engineer, I'll say that people that are afraid of the DSD step, they're fucking it up. Because the nice thing about this shit is that there's a very beautiful, already captured version of the record, and they imprinting it onto records. And with analog, the problem is that the decay of the tape in 10 years is going to be way more noticeable than that perfectly preserved DSD. So
so people that are listening to the podcast don't know, Jason Rojas mentioned that, dude, it's DSD for Jose, and then John Vandy said, Jason, turn in your AAA card.
I all my records that I released so far on my label are digital, and I love that shit because all the independent artists right now don't have that bullshit money to spend it on recording it analog and keeping all analog. Actually, my first all analog record is going to be this one. I'm talking with the artist, and he has the analog masters, and we're going to try to do it all analog. But do I give a fuck about that? Not really.
I'm confused. I thought his name was Jose Moreno Ron, not Jose DSD Ron.
Oh, DSD is his middle name.
You want to see another DSD record?
Please.
With the Eagles.
We'll be here all day if you show every DSD, Jose.
I know.
Oh, I also got this for $1.
Oh, Beatles VJ.
Is it a counterfeit or is it a real one?
It's a real one.
How do you know?
Show the label. No, show the label.
Show the label. Yeah, show the label.
Uh-oh. Drum roll.
Weren't there
I
two
don't know about
variations
this.
of that VJ label or not?
What's the black one?
So that's probably the original.
It is.
That's a bootleg.
That's not a fucking bootleg.
It's a bootleg.
How the fuck is this a bootleg? I got it from a 60-year-old lady.
Selling tomatoes?
Tomato, yeah.
Well, that lady was like 40.
And
I
still,
got it from my
tomatoes
neighbor
song.
here. She gave me it all away. I only had to give her a cake that she wanted.
Anything else, Jose?
Huh?
I don't want to cut you short. I want to make sure everyone has time, though. So I got a time box. We got a lot of people.
Right.
Are you done? First of all, I got to say, too, is that I love these segments because last week Jose showed something that now is in my shopping cart on Discogs, but there's only one of them. And I got the problem I had earlier in the episode where do I want to shell out the cash or do I wait? Okay.
Clockwork Orange, Walter Carlos.
We can't. For the radio, he's holding up all kinds of records. He's got Doors, MJ. All right.
This is
that a white album?
No, this is Caravanserai Mofi. What do you call it? Test
press. Yeah.
Okay.
Why do I have it? Who the fuck knows? Somebody gave it to me, but I got it, and I got this. That's it.
Ooh, I like that. That's cool. That was a fistful of dollars for everyone, and he's got his scary monsters as well
Good boy.
Japanese. All right, you can stop it
with
now.
the Obi strips.
You can stop it now. Okay.
All right, so we got to get people to bed at a reasonable time. All right, Arnaldo. God damn it, I'm so sorry, Arnaldo.
So it's my turn. I won't
Yes.
take too much because I did get some records, but I'll show you only the latest
I hear you.
pickups. I got this on Friday. The new Smile album cutouts.
Isn't it the
So
third
is this-
time they put out B-sides?
No, it's not a B-side album. It's a full album, Jose.
Why the fuck is it called cutouts?
Why? What is it supposed to be called?
I don't know. I thought it was B-sides because for the name.
Not B-sides, Jose.
I dig them, Arnaldo. I like what they're doing. I got all three of those.
It's
right.
not too bad. I thought it was B-side.
I think this is better than Katy Perry.
Oh, that's a new album.
Whoa.
Oh, I haven't heard.
My dog barking is better than.
Oh, come on now. Okay, what is it? Give us.
This is Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga.
This is the alternate cover.
Fucking Eagles? Yeah, it was.
What happened?
No, somebody said, was that the Eagles? I was like, yeah, laughing. Yeah. It was the-
And I also got, this is a few weeks ago, the Tinder Sticks album. I don't know if you guys know
All
about
right, nice. I
I
haven't
know.
got mine yet.
it. And then today I happened to stop by Rough Trade and I picked up something that I've been wanting to get since it came out in June, the new album by John Grant. Singer-songwriter. Jose, do you know John Grant?
I don't. What is it, like folk?
Man, you should know John Grant. You'd like
John
him.
Grant?
Grant.
No, but yeah, sorry. I mean, that's my English.
Yeah.
What is it, folk?
No. Well, he's gone from like singer-songwriter to quirky electronic 80s electronic music. This one is probably the best blend of, he alternates more acoustic and some, that synthy kind of 80s music, maybe a little bit.
Did you went to the tiny new Rough Trade store?
Yeah. Well, I only because I was in that area because I did a volunteer program for my company. Today was volunteer day, and we were in that area. So on the walk back, I stopped by Rough Trade. So it was either between this, right, which I happened to snag the autographed copy, or they also had an autographed copy of Coldplay.
Is it the Notebook edition?
I don't know what version it was, but I was like, you know what? No, John Grant is better than Coldplay, so I'll take that every day.
I don't mind the first two Coldplay records. I don't mind them.
I have the first two Coldplay records.
Yeah,
I
I also have.
Yeah.
actually
First two are
like the second album more than the first one. What is it? The Rush of Blood to the Head.
Rush
Yeah.
of Blood to the Head.
I actually have more than that. I think I have
X and Y
I have
is the third one.
X
I
and
think.
Y. I have
I
X and
have
Y.
on CD. I have X and Y on CD, and
Even Viva la Vida. I think I have it on vinyl. 'Cause
I
it was
have
like
Viva La
when
Vida
I
on
was-
CD. On CD, I have a lot of.
12, yeah.
On vinyl, I think I may have just the Rush of Blood to the Head.
Arnaldo, is that guy John Grant? Was he in the Czars by any chance? Is that the
Exactly.
same guy?
He was in
Yeah.
Stars.
Okay, interesting.
Stars many years ago, and
Right.
it was late '90s, right?
Maybe I don't know.
And yeah, late '90s or maybe early 2000s. He was in
Yeah.
the Stars. Then they disbanded, and he went through a really rough time in terms of depression. And do you know the band Midlake?
Yes.
Midlake are kind of his friends, and they offered to be his backing band on his first solo record because they said, your songs are too good. You cannot waste your life, quote unquote, this way. We'll help you make this record. And it's called, that record, his first solo album was Queen of Denmark. And it was Mojo's album of the year that year.
Okay.
So yeah, and he had, I think that was like 20, I want to say it was like 20, 2011. I forgot what year that came out, or 20. Yeah, I think it was 2011 or 2012 when that came out. So that kind of ignited his solo career.
Interesting. All right, I'll have to look that up.
That's all I got. I mean, I could show some more stuff, but I'll let everyone else have their turn. Like my Halloween decorations back there.
Is
And
that a Santa Claus, Halloween Santa Claus?
No, those are two witches. There's a gnome witch, a regular witch, and I didn't turn on the
I see the middle witch.
Halloween.
It could be a Santa Claus. So
The
it's like two
Halloween.
holidays in one.
What?
I like it. I just thought it was a.
Jason, we can't hear you.
Jason, you're on mute.
I try to save you guys from the barking dog, and then I forget to unmute. Yeah, I love the decorations. You're ready for Christmas too, looks like.
No.
Wait, is that Dennis
it's
Clan?
one holiday at a time.
Well, I see. Isn't that a Christmas tree, or is that a?
No, it's a Halloween tree. Let me
nightmare-
turn it on.
Okay, yeah. Hold on.
It's a Halloween tree.
I love it.
Oh, you know who's playing here for free? Danny Elfman is playing here for free in a week.
Nice.
Oh, really?
Cool.
He's doing the Nightmare Before Christmas thing.
Oh, that's
Cool.
cool.
I thought that
there you
Beetlejuice
go.
2 was going to be horrible. It was good.
It's black and it's got orange and purple lights.
That's still Christmas-ish, Halloween-ish. That's still two holidays at once.
That's what I was gonna say, Jose. I agree.
Yeah, right?
Well, that's the Nightmare Before Christmas destroyed everything. Right now, it's like one holiday.
I've actually never seen that movie.
No? It's pretty-
Tim Burton, yeah. I know.
You know, I don't like how
Very cool, Arnaldo.
Edward Scissorhands, the ending is bullshit. I like that movie, but the ending is like, what? All right.
Edward, yeah.
Okay. If you don't mind, I'll go quickly just because I might have to step away for a second. So, and then Chris, you're next.
Cool.
Yeah, I have actually picked up some records recently. I've kind of been on a little bit of a dry spell, honestly. Been probably selling a lot more records than I've been buying. But now I actually grabbed a handful of them. So I'll show these to you. We got Daz Band Joystick.
What R&B band, yeah.
Just classic. Yeah, I love Daz Band. This one's just like so freaking 80s. The song Joystick even has like arcade sounds in the background and stuff, like Pac-Man and everything. And it's just,
It's a very
Very-
sexual cover.
huh?
It's a very sexual cover.
It's very sexual, right? Yeah, the whole double entendre with the joystick thing, man. It's great.
Yeah.
Anyway, snag that. That's just one of those ones that's always on the list, and finally saw a copy for like $3. Couldn't pass on it. I want to know who knows about this record, The Family.
The Screams of Passion, I remember that song.
So
Prince.
this,
She's a twin sister to one of the Melvoin. That
It
lady.
looks like Tegan and Sarah, something like that.
Prince had something to do with
It's
him
like
too.
David Z, right?
Prince. St. Paul, right?
oh, there you go. You just said it, right? So this is a Prince joint right here, man. This is a record that a side project of Prince's that Prince performs every instrument on. And basically, it's just he doesn't do the vocals. You know, similarly to like the Time stuff. This came out in like '85, right in his wheelhouse. At least for me, I love that era of his. And it's got some great stuff on it. In fact, this is the first time I think that Nothing Compares to You, made popular by Sinead O'Connor. A lot of people know Prince wrote that song, but it appears here first. And it's great, man. The only thing this will leave you thinking, you know, is if you kind of just, you got to kind of suspend reality for a minute. But I am sort of like, why isn't this just a Prince album? Because the music is great,
Is it
but I
singing
want to
horrible
hear
or what?
Prince.
Is the singing horrible?
What's that?
Is the singing bad that you don't like it?
It's not bad. In fact, it's very much in the style of Prince, but it's just not Prince. So it's not that. It's a great record. It sounds great. Some great tunes on it. It's all Prince writing. It's all Prince performing the instruments. It's effectively a Prince album, you know, in the same way that like The Time is. It just doesn't have Prince on vocals. So, but obviously he was well known for that, right? Doing these side projects and stuff. Anyway, The Family, I recommend it. It's a good album.
Hey, Jason, do you ever follow on YouTube the Sunset Sounds studio channel?
I don't think so. No.
If you're a Prince fan, you need to go on a rabbit hole. So sorry to interrupt your thing, but
No.
they do within the past 2 or 3 years. This is where Prince recorded like all the landmark albums exclusively, and they interview all of his engineers and band members for like hours at a time, and they talk about the history of that specific record. They talk about everything, but I'll send you the link. It's you won't be able to walk away from it for days. It goes
Yeah, for
deep.
sure. Send it to me.
Yeah, so
Cool. I do love Prince. I have all of his output into his last one from the 80s. I don't mess with the stuff later than that really, but everything else before that I have. And then I try to get all the side project stuff too. So that's why I snagged that one. And it's really good. Another one that's been on my list for a while, finally snagged a copy, is Patrice Rushen right there. This is Straight from the Heart. This has Forget Me Nots on it. People wouldn't know the song Forget Me Nots. That actually was taken for, they did more than sample it. They kind of rewrote the lyrics for it for the Men in Black movie. And Will Smith, I think, raps over it.
Yeah.
This is just a fantastic album. It's not one of, I probably wouldn't have got it if it was a one-hit wonder.
And
It's
George
really
Michael
good.
also used it as
Fast
sample
Love.
for Fast Love.
That's love, yeah.
mhm.
Oh, really? Okay, I got to look that up. I did not know that. I did not know that. So yeah, Patrice Rushen, snagged that. And this is for me. This is the heavy hitter. People on the here already know which record this is going to be, man. But for the people in chat, The Egyptian Lover.
You got it.
Undeni-
Yeah, I remember you buying it.
Yeah, thank you, Jose. Like, he really kind of pushed me over the edge. He's like, man, there's one on eBay. You should just snag it. And it was just like, I was tracking every single Egyptian Lover on the Nile on the internet. But him saying it was kind of like, all right, I got to grab it. But Egypt, and it's also got, and my
Was
beat
it
goes
clean?
boom. This is early 80s, just like if you were a kid growing up in early hip hop stuff, right? Like this, the Fat Boys, Run DMC, like it's so great. So
Was it clean? Was the record clean?
it's really clean. It's in shrink. I mean, it's got, it's got some shelf wear on it, but it's really clean. It sounds really, really clean. So no regrets. No regrets. Literally, that's kind of been on my list for a couple of years. I just didn't want to shell out for me, $60. I'm kind of like, $60. I know a lot of people here are buying like hundreds of dollar records, but finally pulled the trigger. All right. 2 more. This is hella cool. And I kind of ended up with this by accident. I wasn't even sure, I saw this interesting Sonny Rollins Tour de Force. I love this album. We're talking jazz now. And this is a 10-inch, but it's not just a 10-inch. Like, this is a sample, not for sale, that was given away to people that bought other titles. I don't remember the other titles, but I think there was 2 titles you had to buy. And then they would send you one of these. And it's pretty rare. It's not super expensive or anything, but it's great. It's the full album on 10-inch
Nice.
because the album doesn't have a ton of songs on it. And it's just super cool, man. I love 10-inch. I mean, this is probably the coolest one I have now.
The top
It's from
rank, that's all label. Yeah.
Yeah, from 1961 on the Top Rank label. So if you're into jazz, and it's really clean, and it wasn't that expensive, just super cool and fun.
Cool.
And then last but not least, I got to shout out Concert Buddy. Concert Buddy, just to give you a little idea, for those don't know Concert Buddy and only know him from here. Concert Buddy reached out to me, sends me a message. He's like, hey man, there's a whole bunch of Frank Zappa at my local. And I have like just about everything. This was one that was in my collection that I let go of because I'm on Whatnot, and I was doing a Frank Zappa show. I did not have a Hot Rats, so I took my copy and was like, you got to have Hot Rats if you're going to do a Zappa show. But so I've been out without one for a while, and so he reached out to me. He's doing a record flip, saw this. I'm like, yes, snag that Hot Rats. I need one again. Of course, it's on the OG Blue Bazaar label.
Nice.
A great entry into Zappa if you're not a fan of Zappa. This is the place where a lot of people start. But anyway, just to, I hit him up. I'm like, yeah, grab that one. And so when I'm saying, well, let me give you my payment information and how much was it and all this stuff. He sends me a receipt with the shipping and just said, man, don't worry about it. It's on me. So what a guy. What a guy. I just appreciated so much, and more so the sentiment that's just how Chance is, man. It's like, yeah, it's great having the record and everything, but what a guy. So I'm going to send him something. But I had to shout him out because it's just a kind thing to do. So there it is. Hot Rats back in the collection. And yeah, those are my pickups. Chris, it's all you, baby.
I really didn't do my homework on this part, but I have some stuff. So we're talking about curation versus collection. I'm going to highlight 3 artists I actually collect. And I fell into the Interscope subscription trap on 1 month. And I'm from New York, so you guys, if I'm on here once in a while, you're going to get a lot of hip hop out of me. This is a reissue of Tupac's Thug Life, which I already have a copy of, but I don't have this cover. And I heard horror stories about the Interscope subscription, but I had a good experience on this one. It sounds fine. It came flat and clean and all that good stuff. So I'm happy about that. And then every other year this seems to happen, like once every 2.5 years, but the Hendrix family does some kind of massive reissue or box set. So I haven't listened to this yet. I'm really excited about it, but I got that Electric Lady box that they just put out a couple of weeks ago. So I'm psyched to crank this open. I get a lot of the
Did you show that again, Chris?
Yeah, sorry.
Electric Lady Studio. Okay, so what is that? Is that all Hendrix, or is that?
It's all Hendrix. Essentially, it's a documentary, a Blu-ray documentary about his vision. Open Electric Ladyland studio and like what he wanted to do. So I haven't watched the documentary yet, but then it's 5 LPs and I think like almost 40 unreleased tracks, which were probably bootlegged. I haven't really listened to it to identify, but a lot of this stuff is probably bootlegged over time. But this is cut at QRP, so hoping it'll be great. All the Hendrix box stuff I have is awesome. All the live stuff, all the deluxe reissues, really, really fun. It always comes with good archival books inside, so good education. There's a lot of history on Jimmy, even though he had a short career. And then I haven't been listening to a lot of records because also, every other fall, the Dylan catalog puts out something massive, whether it's the bootleg series or some kind of archival live release. And this is a 27 disc set of the Bob Dylan performances with the band, which I had, I don't know how long you've been in New York, but I don't know if you remember Bleecker Bob's. I spent a lot of money as a teenager in that store seeking out Bob Dylan bootlegs. So I've heard a lot of this stuff, but it's awesome. Some shows are better than others. Some shows the band just seems to have more energy or maybe more, played a lot together as a tour went on. So it sounds good, but sound quality wise, I was really impressed. There's only like 2 or 3 points of really crappy distortion on here. I thought there was going to be a lot more. The one thing I'm curious about, I don't know if anybody's a Dylan head on here, but the band stuff seems to be in hiding. So this is just the Dylan sets. It's the Dylan acoustic sets and then Dylan with the band backing him. But the band portion of the concerts, everyone knows the tapes exist. I don't know if Robbie Robertson's son or estate has them, and maybe that'll be a separate release. But this was a fun listen. I could hear like a Rolling Stone 27 times and I'm okay with it. As well as some other stuff.
Is that, Chris, is that the box set that there was that went sold out, or there was a shipping delay? What's the story behind that?
Here's the story. So I have all the stuff they've done recently. They did the Rolling Thunder review. They did the 66 tour. I think they did one other, and I didn't pre-order it. I was like, you know what? I'll just grab it. I go on Dylan's site. It was gone. So I'm like, all right, let me go to the Evil Empire. I go to Amazon and I placed the order, and I got the pre-order in a couple of days before, and I got a notification the night before that it was going to be delayed till mid-October. And I was like, well,
so when was
this
it supposed to come out? It
was supposed to come out. It came out like 2 or 3 Fridays ago. I don't remember the exact date. So it was supposed to be a September release. So there's a record store I want to shout out in Poughkeepsie, New York. That's really upstate for Jose. Dark Side Records, which I shot there.
The green logo, right, with the eye.
Yeah, the green logo, exactly. I shout out Tyler and Justin up there, and I went on their site. They had one left on the site, and I snagged it. So they sent it to me, and it was a few dollars more than what it was on Amazon. But yeah, I don't know what happened with this. I don't know if they underproduced it and it sold quickly, or it's in high demand. But if you're a Dylan fan, it's not expensive for 27 discs. The only downside to this is it's not a lot of variation in the set list from Dylan's part. So you do get a lot of repeat songs, but you can definitely see the difference in energy amongst all the shows. Like I said, I had a lot of these on bootleg at some point or digital bootleg, and it sounds great. So I'm just hoping that they find the band stuff and put that out, because that'll be badass. And if you guys have the Before the Flood album, the live Dylan and the band album on Asylum, this is where that material comes from. So
I have the MoFi of that one.
Yeah, I have the MoFi of that too. And actually, the Third Man Record Vault, there is no vinyl release for this, but the Third Man Record Vault is their quarterly package, is going to feature unreleased stuff that was never on vinyl. And that's the second Dylan thing they've done. They did one of the bootleg series, like additional discs, a couple of years ago.
Sometime in New York.
Summertime, yeah, exactly. Which is a cool set. So yeah, I didn't do much homework, so nothing too rare or exciting, but that's what I've been listening to. So the turntable hasn't gotten much play, but finally got through this and it was worth it. And one other thing I'll say,
you got the Budokan one as well?
So I bought the Budokan Japanese import, the box, which is beautiful, and then I think Light in the Attic actually redistributed it or reissued it last year after. I didn't know that was going to happen. I would have probably waited on it, but I jumped at that because I could not have it. That's a really cool set, and it's pressed really well. I think it was done at the Sony Japan pressing plant. So, but that Live at Budokan's worth it.
I don't collect CDs, but I'm a big Dylan fan. So
I don't collect CDs either. I only have CDs for the CD player for the Dylan stuff. And then some other things that I know I just can't get on vinyl. I have a CD player for that I want to have, and like a lot of at one point there was I'm a big Fish fan. There's a lot of live Fish stuff that came out on CD that's not going to come out on vinyl, so I have a lot of that stuff too. So, but yeah, I don't go out of my way to get CDs, but something like this is a must-have for me. So, and Rojas, can we get a proper Funkadelic reissue campaign? Like, what's the deal, man?
Who knows? I mean, they say that that's on their agenda for next year, but they've been saying that for years.
Yeah, it's tough because all those records are beat. They're all party records. They're beat. I have like I think I have like a One Nation Under the Groove with the comic book and the cutouts and stuff, which is cool. But like to find something like that, that's got to be in print for everybody. Like why you can't get decent copies of that clean? It's just a painful thing for me. So, but yeah. Just I saw that Funkadelic record. I was psyched you got it. It's pretty cool.
I want to show Jason the record. Jason Spins. This is my.
Oh, that's cool. I think I saw you. Didn't you post that on Instagram or something? Or I feel like I saw that.
Put it up. This is my first Mexican pressing of this record.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
It says progressive rock across the top.
Yeah. There's like 2 or 3 Zappa records that I want from here from Mexico because for this one they didn't change the title. For the Argentinian one it does say Ratas Calientes, but
cool.
for the Mexican one it just says Hot Rats. But there's like 2 or 3 records they actually did change the thing. But this is the back cover, and it's in Spanish, right?
That's hella cool.
Yeah, but I have never seen it. I was at a show and I was selling records, and at the end I told him like, hey, if nobody takes that record, I trade you for some stuff. So I traded him for like a Beatle record that I had that I was never gonna listen to again, and he gave me this. But the cover is like flimsy as fuck.
Yeah, one of those like paper covers.
Yeah. But I thought it was interesting. I've never seen it. Oh, the titles are translated. Durazno en Regalía, Willy el Vividor, El Hijo del Señor Jeans, stuff like that. I don't know. It's oddity, but I got it because I collect like Latin American records.
That's the album that springboarded me into Zappa for sure. First time I heard Hot Rats was like, who is this guy?
Well, not my favorite Zappa at all, but I really love it.
What's your favorite Zappa, Jose?
Well, like live, it would be the Basic Bitch, but I love the New York record, right? And Freak Out, I like a lot. I like Mothers of Invention. I love We're Only in It for the Money.
Yeah.
That will
So you like the early stuff? Okay.
Yeah, well, no, not really, because even the '90s stuff, like there's a bootleg called On Jemima that it's really good.
Yeah. I've seen. I have the bootleg box. Yeah.
Oh,
it's
you
got
have the
all of them.
bootleg box,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
you have
nice.
the one that they officially released.
It's the official one. Yeah.
Oh, all right, no. I want the actual.
The actual boot. I know. I've wondered about those, man. Those have to be super hard to get.
Yeah, I've never seen one except in the WFMU, like back in 2018, 2019. I don't remember, but that was pretty great. But yeah, I like Mothers. I like Mothers.
All right, I'm trying to dig it out. Yeah, I have this one.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
That's awesome.
You have it on the actual box. All right, that's cool. Yeah, with a hammer.
Yeah, it's hella cool. It's just got all the bootlegs in here, which I used to have on CD back in the day.
I actually like the Jazz from Hell. I think it's pretty good. What's the other? The Mother of Invention. What is it? The 80s, the white cover. What is it?
The sinking witch. What's
Yeah. That's
Ship arriving too late to save a drowning rich. Or are you talking
Yeah,
about
yeah.
more?
yeah. The one that has
Ballet Girl. No, I
no.
don't.
Oh, nice.
Now that's a cool bootleg, and it's got
I like that.
it's got a bootleg bizarre label on it and everything.
Oh,
I
by the
just
way,
love this thing.
there's a guy that I met here at the 7-Eleven near my house. Really bizarre story, but the guy was actually the guy that used to translate the what do you call that, the music sheets for Frank Zappa when he lived in California. He went to CalArts. He used to live in here in Mexico just because he can, I guess. But he used to do that, so he used to go to Frank Zappa's house, and he said that the whole fucking house was filled with records and music sheet in the floor and all of that. And he has some cool photos. He showed me that. But when that box set came out, he was going crazy because people were bootlegging him like a lot, and he was losing a lot of money. And that's when the mail-in service thing started happening, and he was doing the classical like the Yellow Shark and all that, the orchestral stuff. So interesting era for him.
Before I got those, I thought, well, maybe he'll have like the original tapes or something, and so they'll sound good. Nope, they sound like bootlegs.
Yeah.
Jason, did you see the documentary they did a couple of years ago? I thought they did a pretty good job.
Yeah,
I liked it. Yeah, I think we talked about it before, Jose. I don't know. I think maybe you liked it. I can't remember, Jose. I thought I liked it more than you did, but I thought it was good. I like anything Zappa though. So
I liked it a lot. I like that Gail was in the documentary a lot. I like that they talk about GTOs a lot. The documentary that I hated with every inch of my body that they released that year was the Velvet Underground one.
Yeah,
that's right.
Bad.
Yeah,
that was rough. That was like an art film. I actually went out and just bought the Criterion of it blind because I'm like, oh, this is probably going to be great. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, I did too. You know what? But the thing is, like, it's all about John Cale, which I absolutely love. I love John Cale all my life. Lou Reed, who I absolutely love. But it was only about them. I wanted to know more about, Sterling Morrison. I wanted to know about Doug Yule. I know he said no to being on the documentary, but at least talk about him. Like, he did Squeeze. No mention of Squeeze.
I know.
No mention of that infamous tour that he was like still touring with Velvet Underground name, and when Maureen Tucker was like the only member left. So I would have loved if they did that, but it was mostly like Lou Reed, John Cale, and these other motherfuckers that were in the band. Blah.
I like this. Go ahead, Jason. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, just real quick, I want to acknowledge Vinyl Dreamscape saying Moon Zappa just released a book about the family. Very interesting. She really goes after her mother, but dedicated the book to Frank. Yeah, she's been on like an interview tour, and I've been watching those clips and interviews and stuff like that. It sounds like the book would be interesting to read, but it definitely sounds very personal to her. So I don't know how much you're kind of getting the inside scoop on Frank as a dad as opposed to like his music career. But I don't know. You read it, so maybe it's worth snagging.
Have you read the Sud Rollo record book? Have you read that?
I've read like 4 books. I read the the one that he wrote,
Yeah, the
official
one.
one.
Yeah, the short one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one I recommend. I have it here. That one I recommend because it's very short, right? Extremely short. This is like a 1-day read, but it's really good. It has cool photos of it, and he doesn't know how to write, so you basically just get
That's
a
a problem.
book like nobody edited. But I think it's pretty good. Interesting read. Sapper related and some stuff. He says that when they were recording Shroud Mass Replica, he was just basically the producing thing that he did was he turned the amp up in one track, and that was it. That's all he did for like. And Stunty knows I love John Cale. What is this bullshit? He knows that.
Yeah, I've said it before. We should do an all Zappa show one day. We need to do it.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
Dave, go for it, baby. You got anything? Any pickups?
Nothing real recently, but some older albums in the past few weeks. Hold on. I already posted some of these on Instagram if anyone follows me. Finally found this one.
All right.
This album fucking rocks. I like it. Sammy Hagar's first album, you know.
Oh, whoa, cool. I've
Okay.
never seen that.
It looks like Van Morrison, the guy in the front.
Ronnie
Like,
Montrose, the lead guitarist. Sammy's here.
What's the band that Richard Wright was in? It looks like that one.
Floyd? No. Richard.
Richard Wright, the guy from Pink Floyd, he was in a band.
I'm not sure his other band.
All right, no worries.
It's a good album, Montrose. Found Rat's second album. Pretty good shape too. Visionary Privacy.
I don't know that.
Has You're in Love and Lay It Down for 85. Good hard rock album.
I was muted. I said I like Rat.
Oh, do you? Cool.
Oh, the band was called Z.
Oh, really? I never heard of them.
No, it's on Harvest. It's 84. I don't know why I remember now. Z.
Oh, Grand Fuck All the Girls in the World Beware. 74.
Oh, piece of shit.
I like the band.
I love that title with that picture.
87 XTC album, Skylarking. Doesn't have Dear God, it has Mermaid Smiles. They're a pretty good band.
I like XTC. Yeah, they did some great stuff.
Yeah, so someone came across this at a Michelle Bob Dylan album, 69.
Nice.
Skyline.
That's the Lady
Lay album, yeah. It's the second pressing label, but plays pretty good.
It's actually the bootleg for that. It's nice.
Oh, really?
The bootleg series. So,
Jam's first album. Pretty good rock band.
I don't know.
Ram Jam.
Jose, you should look at some of these songs up sometime.
I'm never gonna listen to.
He doesn't even bother.
No, I'm probably never going to.
I like rock. Grand Fux Night 70 album, good shape, closer to home.
What's the famous song by them? I don't know if I know them.
American band.
We're
American band. We're an American band.
I'm Your Captain, Closer to Home, the long version. It's a good one.
I thought it was like Buck Cherry or something. I don't know.
That's a newer band.
Oh, Black Betty. Is that the Black Betty? I know
Ram
that.
Jam. Black Betty's on the Ram Jam one.
Black Betty? Is that Black Betty?
Yeah, it's Ram Jam.
All right, I know that. I know that one.
Hey, Arnaldo, I'm not going to show him, but did you see on Instagram I found a whole bunch of Kiss albums a few weeks ago?
No, I missed them. I think I saw one or two of them, but you found them all?
I found 3 solo albums found Destroyer, Love Gun, Rock and Roll Over, Dynasty. Look it up in one of their 80s albums,
Asylum?
Heaven's on Fire, I think, whatever the album's on.
Yeah, I think that's Asylum.
Yeah, it's all the same Remy stuff last August.
Yeah, The albums leading up to like 1978 are classic.
Yeah.
All like the first 6 albums.
But Dynasty's not too bad either.
Oh, I love Dynasty. Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
And they all look like fucking drug dealers in this photo.
Who are you? Who is that?
It's Captain Beefheart.
Oh, this
Captain
Captain
Beefheart. I
Beefheart.
can't see it.
What's his real name? Don Valet or something? Don
Don Van Fleet.
Van Fleet. Yeah, I don't know.
It's all right.
I don't come across names.
As much as I love Sappa, I got Captain Beefheart on my a little upper.
Oh, so Shane said it's Animalize. Is Animalize the one where Heaven's on Fire is? I forget.
The pink one? Animalize? The pink cover?
Yeah, Heaven's on Fire is on Animalize. Thank you.
I almost got a first US of the first Kiss record, but I opted not to get it.
Oh yeah.
Why not?
That one.
He has something. It's the guy that I got the Metallica one that I already flipped. But you know.
Why didn't you get the Kiss record?
Oh, because he was only going to trade one. It was either that one or the Metallica one.
Did it have Kiss in Time on it? You don't know that, right?
No, yeah, he had it. Yeah, he had it. But
No,
I can
the song Kiss.
Yeah, I know it's a song that was only on the first pressing. Yeah.
Right. No, you don't want the first pressing.
Yeah, it has to be omitted.
You want the
omitted.
first pressing.
All right,
it doesn't have Kiss in Time. That's the one you want.
All right, then they had it. Then it was not the first.
Okay, so then yeah, forget that. You can find the one with Kiss in Time anywhere. The one without it is the the first pressing.
I'll ask him. I remember it had it, but because I remember commenting.
Also because it was a gimmick. They didn't even want it on the second pressing of the album.
Really? I didn't know that.
It was more because they recorded the song because it was going to give them exposure to radio play on this radio station that was doing a kissing contest. So they recorded that song Kissing Time so that they'd get exposure.
Bobby Rydell.
The records played, and then when it started getting traction, Neil Bogart reissued the record, slapped it on as the first song of the second side, I think it is. And it was never intended to be on the record.
You know what documentary I never saw, and I think nobody saw, is Martin Scorsese did a documentary on the Google Dolls, on the New York Dolls. Sorry,
New York Dolls.
Google Dolls. New York Dolls, and I don't even know where the fuck they're showing that. I don't know if it came out.
I didn't even know he made one.
Yeah, he made it like 2 years ago.
Scorsese made one on
New York Dolls. Martin Scorsese.
You know, I'll tell you an interesting story about the New York Dolls if you want to hear it.
All right.
So they did their reunion album. It was 2008 or 2007. And they were doing an in-store signing at a Best Buy in New York City. So, of course, I want to get the CD. And I say, oh, this is great. I'll just go to the in-store. And David Johansen was there. Sylvain was there. I think those were the only two. I think, what was the guy's name? Arthur, the bass player. I forgot his name.
Arthur Kane.
I think he had died already. So I think those were the only two original band members. Right. And they had the other two, the replacements. So when I go to David Johansen, I said, you know, the first exposure I had to the New York Dolls was when I was a little kid, because I was really into Kiss. And whenever I'd read articles, they would always reference that Kiss was in the vein, you know, the whole dressing up, makeup and stuff.
The drag.
And then that was earlier, and when I was young, that's how I heard about your name. But I really started having interest in your music because of Morrissey, because he was also a champion of your music, and so I kind of like owe it to them. And he turns to me and says, I owe a lot to Morrissey, he actually says, because I think when he curated, I think he curated one of those festivals in London. What's it called?
All tomorrow's parties.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he invited the New York Dolls, and that's how they reformed, and that gave them the spark to do another record and everything, and all the exposure and notoriety they got because of Morrissey. He's like, even I owe a lot to Morrissey, he said. So that was
Cool. That is cool.
Very cool. Well, I promised the audience we would do a little this or that. Are you guys up for it? I know we're kind of up on time, but if you guys have a little bit, we can do a little this or that.
This or that.
And Chance, if you're listening, you can cut this part out or not. I think it's going to be really fun, and I think it's going to be fun. We'll get the audience involved. Think just the tip, except this is different. All right, so here we go. This or that. Ooh, the production value is just out of this world. So there it is. So I think we'll go around and let everybody pick a category that they want to, and we'll just go through. I mean, I don't know if you guys ever see, where have I seen this on like daytime TV shows where they'll show like two celebrities and the guest has to like pick one and they kind of work their way to just one winner. So that's what we're going to do here. So we can just go down the list. Jose, do you want to go first?
All right. It's going to be the worst one, but all right. Maybe alternative and new wave.
Alternative and new wave.
Because if in the 90s they show me like Oasis, I'm not going to choose any of them. Doolittle.
Doolittle.
This is killing Arnaldo, by the way.
He'll get his chance.
Doolittle.
All right. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's I should say these out. So he's got Pixies, Doolittle. Then he's putting that above Queen is Dead by the Smiths.
Yes.
Now we got Unknown Pleasures versus Doolittle.
Doolittle.
Still going Doolittle. Now he's got Doolittle versus Freedom of Choice, Devo.
Doolittle. Oh, Doolittle.
Blue Sky Mining for those listening.
No.
Doolittle. I'm not a New Order.
Doolittle versus New Order Substance. He's going
Sonic
Doolittle.
Youth. Sonic Youth.
Oh, okay. We're switching to Sonic Youth.
Yes. Oh, that's tough for me, but of course, Sonic Youth.
All right, he's got Daydream Nation versus Peter Gabriel's So. We're going with Daydream Nation.
Sonic Youth.
Over the B-52's debut.
Any day of 100% Sonic Youth.
We got Sonic Youth versus Violator, Depeche Mode.
Yes.
Now he's got Talking Heads Remain in Light versus Daydream Nation.
All right, so Daydream Nation is not my favorite Sonic Youth record. So I'll go with Talking Heads.
Okay. Switching to Remain in Light. I like it. Oh, there it is. That was your final choice, man.
All right.
There you go, Jose. Picking Talking Heads Remain in Light.
That's a good album, Talking Heads.
I love that album. I like Speaking in Tongues, though. That's the one that I used to listen to all the time, and it's hard for me to not have that one at the top. All right, Jay. You're up. Pick a category.
Let's choose Van Halen. Let's just go there.
We've got rock. We're starting with Blackout Scorpions versus Dark Side of the Moon.
We'll choose Jose's favorite, Dark Side of the Moon.
Jose's favorite versus Who's Next.
Who's next?
Yeah, there you go.
Great album.
We'll say
Great
Jose.
album.
Yeah.
And by the way, for those watching, I'm going to let you guys play all by yourself here once we get through everybody. I'm going to let you guys pick one. So, all right, here we go. Who's Next now versus Led Zeppelin 4. Woo! This is a Rosemary's Baby.
Jose's favorite, Led Zeppelin 4.
Led Zeppelin 4.
You know that between those two is Who's Next.
Now we got Led Zeppelin 4 versus the great Sgt. Pepper's.
Let's go with Sgt. Pepper's.
Sgt. Pepper's now. All right. Sgt. Pepper's versus LZ2. I'm telling you, it gets tough.
Let's go Led Zeppelin 2. Let's see what we're going to go with.
Led Zeppelin 2. Switching again. Ooh. Okay, we got Are You Experienced versus Led Zeppelin 2. The impossible choice.
No, that's easy. I would say that's easy.
Oh no, he logged out. He didn't like it so much.
I think his battery died or something.
Okay, hold on. Let me give him a minute. What would you guys pick?
Hendrix.
Jimmy.
Good one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you.
I mean, that Hendrix record, the first time I listened to it, I was like, oh, nice. You know, like the Zeppelin one, I remember the first time somebody played it to me was because of the Lord of the Rings lyrics. Well, the Hobbit, I guess. The Hobbit lyrics on
Yeah.
Rap.
One, two. I meant.
Yeah. Which, you know, it's a good record.
Ramble on. You're right. Yeah.
Okay,
Ramble.
he's back. He's back.
He's back.
All right. We lost you for a second, Jay.
Did someone pick it to Led
No.
Zeppelin 2?
No.
No, which one are you going with?
Jimi Hendrix.
Of course. Okay, you got Are You Experienced versus Appetite for Destruction.
Mr.
Wow.
Brownstone.
Guns N' Roses.
Really?
Appetite.
Okay, that's
That's a horrible pick.
shocking turn of events right there. Okay, Appetite for Destruction versus 1984 Van Halen.
This is tough.
Yeah.
Jose. Need Jose's help here.
So
I would kill myself between those two records.
Really? See, I'm
I think-
1984. Oh, you mean because you don't like either one of them?
Yeah. I hate. I hate.
I have both of them actually.
If I ever do own a record store, the only rule is gonna be no Guns N' Roses.
Oh, okay. And what about Foo Fighters?
Well, that's the second rule.
I shouldn't have brought it up.
Nothing against Van Halen. It's just, you know, overplayed Panama. I can't. listen to
I
that.
freaking love this album. But what about you, Jay? Which one?
We'll go with 1984, Terry's Request.
There you go. Ooh, see, man, Pyromania now, Def Leppard versus 1984 Van Halen.
We'll stick with 1984.
All right.
Ooh, that's easy. Huh?
Now we got 1984 versus Alive Kiss.
Has to be Kiss.
Of course.
Oh, we're switching to Kiss now. We went from Van Halen to Kiss. Okay, so we got Alive now versus Pearl Jam 10.
Kiss.
You know, Chan's got a little wherever he is.
He perked up a little bit. He's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And there it is. Jay
Oh, cool.
has to live with Alive by Kiss now for all time.
That's fine. That's a great record.
It is a great record.
Guns and posters. I like that.
Arnaldo, you're up. Let's go.
I guess I'm going to have to pick 90s.
By the way, you can pick the same one because there's like it'll mix some other records in there and stuff. So
No, let's switch it up. Let's do the 90s.
the 90s. All right, here we go. We got Miseducation of Lauryn Hill versus Pearl Jam 10 again.
Lauryn Hill.
Ooh, great pick.
Lauryn Hill
Okay.
Unplugged. That's the one you want.
Lauryn Hill.
Lauryn Hill versus Blood Sugar Sex Magic.
Well, hold on.
The Peppers.
Change his mind.
That's not fair.
Maybe the Chili Peppers.
Wait, the magic is written wrong, right? It's with a K.
Oh, is it? That's my typo then.
I don't know. Man.
Okay, so we got Blood Sugar versus Soundgarden now.
Chili Peppers. So
We're going Chili's versus Low End Theory. Tribe.
that's a great album.
Yeah.
Let's switch over to Tribe.
Okay, we're going Tribe. Now we're kind of in hip hop land. We got Tribe versus The Roots. Things Fall Apart.
Still Tribe.
Man,
Now we got Low End versus Definitely Maybe Oasis.
Man. That's a good record too. Let's go with Oasis.
All right, we're going Oasis. Now we got Oasis versus Smashing Pumpkins, Siamese Dream.
I'll switch over to the Smashing Pumpkins.
To the Pumpkins. We got Pumpkins versus Daft Punk.
Well, if you had put this is the first album. If you had put,
Discovery.
Random Access Dream, is it called Random Access Memories?
Memories.
Random
Yeah.
access memories. Yeah.
Like that, but Siamese Dream is better.
All right. Well, maybe next time we'll
I
see that
prefer
one. Okay, so now we got Siamese Dream versus Nirvana in utero.
Moist vagina.
And I can just see Arnaldo just
The best
cracking
B-side of
right
all
now.
time.
Probably still Siamese Dream.
all right. Siamese Dream. And then we got Siamese Dream versus
Stay with
it's
Siamese Dream.
okay, beating out No Doubt's Tragic Kingdom. We got Homogenic by
We're
Bjork.
homogenic. Yes. Sorry.
Wait, but that's not 90s.
Yes,
That's
it
not
is.
90s?
Homogenic
I think it
90s.
is.
What are you talking about?
Homogenics wasn't the 90s? No, that's
96. 1996.
Wasn't it like 2001? All right.
Oh, 96.
All right.
Or maybe 97. One of those two. So homogenic.
Really?
No, I think it's
Homogenic?
97. Walter, is it 97 homogenic? Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, it is 97. I thought it was like 2000
Homogenic.
already.
You're going with Homogenic now? Okay.
Yeah.
Here
Bjork.
we go.
All the way Bjork.
Ooh, okay. There it is. Homogenic. It's all
that.
yours.
Like a virus.
Can live with that. All right, Dave, you're up. Feel free to pick like I said, there's some other records mixed into these, so you can, if you want to pick something that someone's already picked.
I'm not going to do jazz. I'm going to do alternative new wave.
Okay.
I could do jazz bells maybe some other time. Yeah, alternative new wave.
We got Doolittle versus Violator.
Violator.
Little Depeche. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Violator versus Daydream. Nation. Sonic Youth.
Violator.
Violator. Ooh, Violator versus The Smiths. Queen is Dead.
Violator.
Violator. Violator versus Replacements. Let It Be.
Believe it or not, I haven't heard some of these albums. Violator.
There's like one song on this record I really like. Okay, then we got Violator versus Blue Sky Mining. Midnight Oil.
I've heard both of those. Blue Sky Mine's okay. Violator.
We're going-
yeah.
Oh, Violator. Okay.
Isn't that like a one-hit wonder band? What am I like?
Midnight Oil. Yeah.
Midnight
I
Oil?
don't think so.
They had two albums anyway. I mean, more than two. Oh, shit, Synchronicity.
So now we got Violator versus The Police. Synchronicity.
It's kind of tough.
That is tough.
Just pick one, Dave.
Yeah. Synchronicity. I know.
You say it like it's so easy. It's like picking one of your children.
Synchronicity, Jason.
Okay, we're gonna flip over to Synchronicity versus Unknown Pleasures.
Unknown Pleasures.
All right.
I know that.
Unknown Pleasures versus B-52's debut.
Unknown Pleasures.
Unknown Pleasures versus So by Peter Gabriel.
So is okay.
Sledgehammer.
Unknown Pleasures.
Unknown Pleasures.
That one.
Ooh, Joshua Tree making an appearance versus Unknown Pleasures.
Unknown Pleasures.
Okay. Oh, there you go. That's a Unknown Pleasures versus New Order Substance.
New Order Substance.
We're going New Order.
Yeah. Cool.
There it is. New Order Substance coming your way. Sorry about the barking, guys.
Greatest hits one.
Nice
yeah.
pick. Nice pick.
Yeah.
Shh. All right. Go ahead, Chris. You're up.
So I was gonna do jazz, but I think I'll do hip hop. I'm just nervous that it might be too modern. Let's see.
Oh, we want to see you sweat. All right, we'll go
No.
hip hop.
Yeah, let's do
Or take
hip hop.
all right.
No, let's do
There
hip
you
hop. I don't know if anybody else want to do it. I'll do it.
Sorry. So we got Low End Theory versus Eminem, Marshall Mathers LP.
Right out of the gate, huh? Low end theory.
Low End Theory. Ooh, versus Ready to Die, Notorious B.I.G.
Low end theory.
Sorry, let me get my camera back. Low End Theory
Yeah.
versus NWA, straight out of Compton.
Low end theory.
Low end theory versus
Not
Take
even-
Care.
Low end theory.
Low end. Cardi B, Invasion of Privacy. I had to put it in there.
I know, this is what I was afraid of. Low end theory.
Okay.
Curation.
There you go. Run DMC, Raising Hell versus Low End Theory.
Low end theory.
All right. Low End Theory versus
Oh,
Public Enemy. It takes a nation of millions to hold us back.
Flavor Flav.
low end theory.
Oh, sticking with Low End.
Yeah.
We got Jay-Z, The Blueprint versus Low End Theory.
Now, if this was the Black album, we might have a battle. I'm going to go low end theory, though.
We're going Low End.
Oh,
We got Outkast, Stankonia.
Ooh.
my friends watching this right now know I'm going to struggle with this one. I need a second.
Take your time.
I got it.
I love all the feedback in chat, guys. Don't worry, you're next. You're next.
I got to go low end theory.
Low End Theory.
Oh
Got
my
a little
god!
Nas, Illmatic. Oh,
Hold on. I don't know if you guys really saw this today, but
Yes, sure.
oh,
I have my Nas.
he's wearing it.
It's low end theory, man. It's low end theory again. There's
Alright.
one album potentially you might put up here that might change my mind, but
He's sticking with Tribe. All right, here we go. Sticking with Tribe over Nas. What's next? 50 Cent. Get rich or die trying.
yeah, get low end theory or die trying.
Going low. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
All
that
right,
was-
Low End. It was no match. Low End came up early and took it the whole way. Very nice.
That
Very
was
nice.
tough.
These are tough, right? They're kind of
That
fun.
was
I
a-
like this.
That was tough. There was a couple layups in there, but that wasn't easy.
Well, since I put this together, I already know everything that's in there, so I'm not even going to go. Let me give guys in the chat, pick a category. We'll take and you guys can keep me honest on the panel. Let's see.
Do one of the ones that you haven't done, like the blues, jazz, metal.
Metal.
You guys want to go jazz? I'll let you guys pick. If if in the chat, type in which category you want. We got one jazz,
Yeah. Just do the jazz one.
Mad vinyl.
jazz 90s metal. Oh, we're all everywhere. We might have to do a couple. Oh my gosh. We're everywhere. Go. We got two jazz. We have to go with jazz. We haven't done jazz yet. All right, here we go, guys. So I think the way we'll do it is we'll take the first five, and since there'll be that fifth one will be a tiebreaker, and whatever gets 3 is going to be the one we'll take. So here we go. We're going to go jazz. All right, we got Dexter Gordon's Go versus Art Blakey's Moanin'. Maybe we'll do another one, Cesar. Boring. We'll do another one. Come on, guys. Just pick one.
You will
think they
pick
have those-
Art Blakey because he's right here.
There you go.
Breaking my heart with the OG. The OG mono. Woo. All right, we got 2 Blakeys. We got 1 Dexter. We got 3A. Okay, that's a good way to do it. Do A or B. Because I know you guys are probably on cell phones, some of you. All right, we're going to go Blakey Moanin'. Now we got Moanin' versus Bobby Hutcherson Components. This is only a hard one for me, probably. So A or B? We got Moanin' versus Components. A or B?
Cesar was criticizing it. Now he's showing the fun.
Yeah, come on, Cesar. There you go. Pat's Radio, After My Own Heart right there. We got
Mad
2
Vinyl,
A's.
still Tribe. I like Mad Vinyl's answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we're still going Blakey. Blakey versus Mingus Charles
Go,
Mingus.
Vontae.
A or B, guys? A or B? Sorry, Shane. I'm right there with you.
Is this just Blue Notes?
No. Well, that Charles Mingus not Blue Note.
I
Yeah,
have
it's
that Charles Mingus
Columbia.
album. I've got Charles Mingus album. That's
We got two Mingus so far. Drum roll. Still A. Oh, and now it's a literal tiebreaker. We got 2A and 2. Oh, okay. So wait, what was that? Now we're going so fast. It was B, right? Did B win, guys?
was a painting.
Arnold is like somewhere else, and he's like
He's checked out.
double.
I want to say we went B on that one.
He voted twice.
because
Because he went B, B, A, A, B. Yep. Tap Records got B. So we're going to go Minkus versus Timeout Dave Brubeck.
Oh, I don't like timeout.
It took me a long time to warm up to it. I like it, but it's not one of my.
It's too BBC documentary type.
Ooh, everyone's going Brubeck. Okay, Brubeck. Timeout versus the great
No
Bill
way.
Evans.
They should have
Sunday.
stayed. They should have stayed.
Oh, Jay.
Wait, is that a DSD step? One step?
That's right. That's right. Cry hard.
So now I'm kind of getting lost because they're kind of running together. Okay, looks like we got B. So Bill Evans. I'm gonna draw a line in the sand. So okay, we're taking B, guys. We're taking B's. No more votes. I'm gonna do a little.
Can Jason show that at Katy Perry with the bazungas again?
Okay, there's the line, guys. Anything after that is gonna go to this one right here. Bill Evans versus
Jose.
Thelonious Monk and
Monk
Sonny
and
Rollins.
Looking around. I mean, I don't know.
There you go. There you go.
Sorry, Jay. We're busy.
You know what the biggest problem is, Jason, is that the single that came out for that record, I heard it so much because they used to play a lot here at the supermarket for whatever reason. So I
think
know it's wrong.
Bill Evans took it, I think, over Thelonious and Sonny. All right,
Cool.
hold on. I'm about to draw another line in the sand, guys. Don't vote. Don't vote. Our votes are already in. We're going A.
They already voted.
All right, here we go. We got Bill Evans now versus Pharaoh Sanders Karma.
Wait, but Arnaldo doesn't have any gazumbas that we wanted to watch. We can't see anything in there. There you go.
We can get back to that.
There you go.
All right, we got one B. We got two B's for Karma. Okay, we're taking Karma. There we go.
That's an upset,
Jose,
I think.
pay attention, Jose. We got Pharaoh Sanders in the mix.
Who would pick Bill Evans? What is this?
All right, B is the winner, guys. B is the winner. I'm going to draw another line. Don't vote. Don't vote.
But
Going
it's
for the next one.
spiritual jazz versus heroin jazz. So that's a good battle, I guess.
I knew I was gonna like Jose, but I can't believe how much I like Jose. It's unbelievable.
This is no,
All right, we
it's
got
true.
Pharaoh Sanders Karma versus Gets Gilberto.
Yeah.
Well, gets.
A or B? A or B?
I've only heard.
I say tribe on this one.
Tribe. You're going Tribe? Okay.
I've only heard the B album, so
I'm going with the Katy Perry record.
We got one A. We got one B. We got another A. We got two A's. Wait, am I wrong? We got three. Oh, we got three A's. Okay, we're going Karma. We're going Karma.
yeah, I have that.
Cesar doesn't like either one. Maybe the next one will be good. Okay, I'm drawing a line, guys. Save your entries for the next one.
There you go.
Here we go. We said Karma, right? Just so I get this right. Ooh, Karma versus Headhunters.
I have that.
Herbie.
Headhunters album, so I know that.
Herbie Hancock.
The Gaga also qualifies as jazz, though.
Kind of.
Arnaldo, have you seen the new
Dave, you don't get to vote.
It's all
Joker
right.
movie?
You're messing me up, dude.
Sorry.
All right, we got B's. Okay, we're switching over to Herbie. Headhunters. Oh, okay. Hold on. Don't vote yet. Give me a chance to get a line in the sand. Here we go. All right, get your votes in now. Here we go. We got Headhunters versus Giant Steps, John Coltrane. Mr. Negativity showing it right now.
Negative.
We got B. Whoa, where am I? B-A. Oh, we need a tiebreaker. We got two each.
I like Acid Mother Temple.
So I think we're A. We're Herbie Hancock over Giant Steps. Woo! Okay. Here we go. Okay, hold on, guys. Save your votes. Let me get a line in there. That's the only way I can keep track. All right, here we go. So we got Herbie Hancock's Headhunters versus Miles Davis Bitches Brew. Chris, what do you say here?
What's a good out? Both of those.
For me, it's
Yeah.
it's Bitches Brew. But were you looking for a tribe? Because I could also go tribe here.
Rojas giving us some visual aid.
It's a quad album.
And he's making his picks by just pulling records off the wall.
It's amazing.
I love it.
I'll say that the B-sides for Bitches Brew are better than
We're going Herbie again.
the actual record.
I'm starting to
All right,
think
hold
that
your votes, guys.
Jason
Hold
lives
your
in like an
votes.
Iron Mountain vault. I don't know how he can pull all this stuff out one away.
I know
Oh,
we.
but you haven't been hanging out with Jose. When he starts pulling records out from behind him,
Oh, I've seen it. I've seen
where
it.
everything is.
But
I
I
have
don't
to
have
say,
any jazz. I don't have any jazz. Though.
if you
The
love this
no
record,
look grab.
I see we got a lot of B's late, but the A's were already in, so we're gonna have to go Herbie on this one. We're going 3 out of 5. Herbie. Oh, and the winner is Herbie Hancock Head Hunters.
Wait, somebody's asking me. Yes, I love Acid Mother Temple. Yeah, of course I do.
I didn't see that.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, yeah, but somebody was asking if I knew. I'm like, yeah, of course.
Oh, Grateful Dogs. Yeah.
Well, that was fun. I'm sweating.
I love that. That's what I live for this stuff.
It's so funny, man. We get people that just love. And by the way, I got to credit Jason Rojas with Just the Tip. He brought it up one time. He says, "I'm just going to show Just the Tip on this record," and it was like it stuck with me. And I'm like, "There we go, segment." So yeah, this is fun. I like getting everybody involved, man, in the chat and stuff. So, Bitches Brew was so cool. Best electronic jazz record.
You could do a soundtrack one next time.
Yeah, I kind of threw this together. There's so many different ways we could go with it. So yeah, maybe I'll spice this up for next time. Sound of Minder is saying it's blues time. I guess that's the only problem. We get people that are going to like all different kinds of music, and 2000s hardcore is a go.
New metal. You have to do the new metal one.
Yeah, that was actually going to be
versus Korn. That's my
Korn. Deftones.
Yep, that almost made it. 2000 metal.
Slipknot versus
Limp Bizkit.
Limp Bizkit, yeah. The Nuki versus whatever those bagpipes shit was going on in Korn.
Korn.
I
think the best new metal album is definitely Low End Theory, in my opinion. Tribe, Low End Theory, like that's it.
Well, some Beastie Boy records is metal and not the new metal sound, but it is metal and rap.
You got to fight. Free right to party. My Beastie Boys.
Well, right. I think we did everything. You guys want to do a quick metal, and we'll just do a what do we want to call it? Let's do a group one. We'll do it real fast, and then we'll sign out. Here we go. We're gonna do metal. Everybody just shout, or I guess shout it out. I don't know. There we go. Black Sabbath debut versus Motley Crue. Shout out the devil.
Oh, but we can't see it.
Show you guys can't see it. I'm so sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on.
Oh, it's Black Sabbath all day, like.
Sabbath,
guys.
Yeah,
all right, we got Sabbath.
Sabbath, yeah.
Speed round. Sabbath versus British Steel. Judas Priest. Sabbath versus we got debut versus Volume 4.
Volume 4.
Punk's a good one, fellowship. Punk's a good one. We'll get to that for sure. Which one?
I'd say Volume 4.
I would still say first.
Either one.
We need a tie break. We need a tie break.
Volume 4.
Arnaldo, Volume 4. All right. Yeah, good pick. People in chat are like, Sabbath. Okay, now we got Volume 4 versus Master of Puppets.
Volume 4.
Volume 4.
Chance is heartbroken right now. All right, we're going Volume 4 versus Pantera, Vulgar Display of Power.
Volume 4.
Volume 4 for sure.
Snowblind. Come on, man.
Volume 4 versus Ride the Lightning.
Volume 4.
Volume 4. Megadeth, Peace Sells, but who's buying?
Volume 4.
Volume 4.
Volume 4 all day long. Screaming for Vengeance, Judas Priest.
Volume 4.
Of course. Kill them all as we go to the third Metallica.
Volume
4.
Volume 4, not even a contest. Dio, Holy Diver.
Dio.
Volume 4.
All right. Volume 4 versus Peace of Mind, Iron Maiden.
Volume 4.
Volume 4.
Volume 4. Willow loves Volume 4. And there it is. No surprise, Volume 4 taking it down. All right, that was fun, man. We'll put some different ones together next time. We'll add some different categories and stuff. And thanks for all the input.
I'm not qualified either for metal, but as long as Black Sabbath is in it.
Yeah, that was they ran the table on that
It's
one.
the only one that I'm going to choose, you know, or sleep.
Jason, do we have time just to knock out the blues one as a group? It was the lone wolf.
Sure, why not? Why not? If you don't mind listening to my barking dog. So sorry, guys. Here we go. Blues. And then we're going to call it a night. Mad Vinyl, don't go anywhere. We're about to do blues, baby. Here we go. Blues. Robert Cray, Strong Persuader versus Stevie Ray Vaughan. Texas Flood.
Robert Cray. Robert Cray.
Blues is in my wheelhouse. So,
We need a real we need a tiebreaker. Arnaldo, what do you think?
Texas Flood.
Texas. Okay.
I'm the other
Texas
one.
Flood versus John Mayall's Blues Breakers with Eric Clapton.
John Mayo.
I'm gonna say flood.
Yeah. Texas
John
Flood.
Mayer.
I don't know. I don't know.
Mayer.
I just heard John Mayer. Okay, Texas Flood versus Hoodoo Voodoo Man Junior Wells.
I'm gonna go junior.
Junior Wells.
I don't know.
Okay, we're going
Yeah,
Junior.
well.
I heard a couple juniors
All right, Rojas.
versus I'm John Lee Hooker.
Junior.
Junior.
Still going
Junior.
All right. Hoodoo Man Blues versus Fillmore East Allman Brothers. That come on
Is that
now.
country rock? What is
Arnaldo,
blues?
what do you say, man?
Is that
I don't know
blues?
Hoodoo Man. I don't know Hoodoo Man Blues. I have Fillmore East. so
Okay.
I'd go for that.
Is that blues? Is the Allman Brothers blues?
Well, I mean, it's blues rock. I mean, I tried to
It's-
just pick, you know.
Some people want to call it Southern Rock, so
Yeah, I would call it Southern rock.
I knew I was going to get criticized. You know what, guys? You guys make your own games. No, I'm kidding.
Junior.
think
All
it's
right,
gonna
Jay, we're going to let
help
Jay. We
So
got to go with Jay.
let's
Jay's
let's pick because it's a little off category. Let's go with Hoodoo Man Blues, but I don't know.
Well, but then we got Jay holding up. He's voting with his collection right now. We'll go Fillmore. All right. Fillmore versus
Muddy
Muddy Waters at Newport.
Muddy Waters.
Muddy.
Muddy Waters.
Okay, we're switching to
Waters.
Muddy. That was short-lived action there, Allman Brothers. All right, then we got Muddy Waters to BB King live at the Regal. Ooh,
Muddy
man,
Waters.
I love that record.
Muddy.
Ooh, okay, they're going with Muddy. We got Muddy versus Moanin' in the
Ooh,
Moonlight. The
the
great
OG.
Howlin' Wolf.
Howlin' Wolf.
Howling Wolf. Howling Wolf.
All right, we're switching to Howlin' Wolf. Howlin' Wolf versus Little
Ooh,
Walter.
Little Waters. Little Water. That's why I learned how to play harmonica because of that guy.
Oh, really?
I'm
Okay.
still going moaning.
All right, who's the tiebreaker?
Jason left for Idaho or somewhere.
He's going to grab one of these records. I guarantee it.
Let's grab mode.
jeez.
Is that the record that he got that was broken?
Yeah.
No, that was the
Oh,
rock
no,
chair
it was
one.
the chair one. The chair one.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
No, wasn't it a Holland Wolf record?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
It was.
you're right. It was he's going to grab the actual busted record.
Oh,
Yeah, but it wasn't this record, but it was the same artist. So we got one for each.
I would say moaning in the moonlight.
All right, let's go for it. We're not going to wait for
Should
Jay.
go with Moanin' in the Moonlight. Because
There it
Deal.
is. There it is. Can we see
Jason,
the
do
snap?
you even collect records, dude? Like, what are you into?
Yeah.
This guy's got everything.
Just for the record,
I mean, you want a legendary record, right? This is the legendary. You
Old
know?
chest label.
and Jason's a magician. He managed to glue it back together. Oh, well, that wasn't the rocking chair one. Never mind. All right.
This is my favorite.
That's
Moanin'.
why.
All right, so we got Moanin' in the Moonlight, Howlin' Wolf versus the great Charlie Musselwhite Stand Back.
Howling Wolf.
I would say Wolf. It was a different Musselwhite record, maybe, but I would go Wolf here.
All right, we're still going Wolf. We got Wolf versus my guy Albert King, Born Under a Bad Sign.
Albert King.
Wolf.
All right, I'm going to be the tiebreaker on that one. I'm going to go Albert King. Oh, Heartbreaker.
No, that's
No.
that's
All right, guys. Let's put everyone to sleep, man. That was super fun. We'll get some 2000s in here. We'll get some, some late metal and stuff like that and going as well. So there are buttons to click. Let's do it. There we go. All right. Thanks everybody for joining and watching. I hope that was fun. I hope you guys learned something. Maybe you guys made a list of records from our pickups. And especially it was fun doing a little this or that.
Snoopy.
Jay's going to play us out with a little Howlin' Wolf. Excellent album. Is that OG, Jay?
Of course, I don't mess around here. This isn't.
That's cool. That's cool.
This is
Of
not.
course we don't.
This is
mess
not
around.
too many records.
Right. Yeah. You know.
This is not vinyl ice.
That's
Wow.
right. We go hard. You know, you're gonna go hard here.
Yeah, you need to put that in the humdinger though.
That's right. Put this in the humdinger and be near mint, right?
And that's such an Elliot Cruz thing. He says like when he goes around town. He probably does that. No, he has this vinyl spin. What do you call that?
Vinyl spin, yeah.
Yeah, right. He
I
has
have it
that.
too.
He showed
I have
it.
the
before.
vinyl spin too.
I mean, Jason, DJ Mark.
He cranks that shit up like. Oh my Katy Perry record. Oh my lord.
There it is, Katy Perry.
143.
Man, that song.
I don't think I've heard.
I've heard it everywhere. Like when I go to Walmart, nobody's asking for that song. It's just
Here we go. This or that. This or that.
This or that. He's got guys.
you know,
for the
Howling Wolf would probably like Katy Perry.
Howlin'
This or
Wolf
that.
versus Katy Perry.
He was a dirty man, so
Like
he
Crying
probably liked
Wolf, or as Jose said, Jugs. You know?
They say, is it musically or for taking on a date?
it. The Gazumbas. No.
Who you have more fun with, right? The Wolf.
Orlando Bloom or Howling Wolf. I don't know.
Oh God.
Man, rest in peace, Orlando Bloom.
What? Oh, I thought you were serious. I was like, what the hell, dude? Breaking
No,
news.
He's just dead to me. That's
Oh, God. All right. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Of course, next Thursday will be Chance back with the A side. And then next time we'll be even closer to Halloween. We might actually have to do something.
By the way, I'm dying to know Chance's take on people repressing the Tripod record.
Oh, that's
'Cause
right.
I know he's gonna hate it when it gets released, so
He'll still buy it.
he'll buy it. He'll hate it.
All right, you guys. Good night to everybody on the panel. Good night to everybody in chat.
Yeah.
Have a great night. See you guys
Bye,
later.
everybody. Bye.
Hey, Jason.